Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 59 of the Talking with the Dad podcast. This evening, it's actually, you know what, our topic list is a little light. We're trying some new things on the back end going into next week. We got some stuff going on, but this is going to be a very good show. There's a lot of substance to our very few topics this evening, and I think it's going to be an incredible show, like always. Shout out the audio listeners. You guys are great. We love you guys. We give you guys shout outs because you guys can't see us. You don't know. You have no idea what we look like or you know, really our mannerisms or anything. But Steve, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. I was playing some games with the eldest.
Okay.
They were actually parked in their he's. I don't know if you know this, but in the man cave, he's room is right there. It's that other door you see when you come down there. So they're both in there right now. They just got through polishing off some popcorn and So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we're playing the Avengers. Obviously, we're playing on his account on his PlayStation. And man, my son's a backseat gamer. I love him to death, but he's a backseat gamer, man.
Sure.
I'm trying not to be that dad. Just like, I'm trying to freaking focus in here. He's just like, no, Dad, you gotta
How many times have you threatened him while you're playing games? That's the real question.
Threatened him? None. Threatened to cancel the game night? Many times.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, a physical threat against my son over a video game.
That's a little far. That's a little far. I can admit that.
Yeah. You black out, you come to and I just started hitting people.
There was holes in all the walls.
It's not so much like he backseats game. That's one thing. Another thing he does is he panics and he'll throw me the remote. Like I'll ask him before every mission. I'm like, hey, buddy. I'm like, do you want me to do this one? This might be a little, because I'm a little further ahead in the game. I'm like, this one's a little hard. Do you want me to do this mission for you? He's like, no. It's okay, Dad. I think I'll do it. And he'll have this much life left out of a bar that extends this far. And when he's about to die, he's like, here, you do it. Throws me the remote. And I'm like, made a few comebacks. But I got to be honest, man, playing the Avengers on two different accounts, man, I'm knee deep in that game, man. I have some criticisms about the actual game that I'm gonna wait for my official review to do. But there's some stuff
too late
that
for an official review.
I'm just gonna say it now. So there are a few quirks about the game that there are glitches in every game, but there are some glitches that are just infuriating when it actually messes with gameplay. One thing that really annoys me about this game, PC and the PlayStation, you walk up to a crate. On the with the Xbox controller, it's X to open it up.
Okay.
But that's also an attack button. So there's this weird thing that happens when you're trying to open a crate and it shows you the emblem to open it. And it's like, oh no, now you're throwing a punch. Wait, maybe now you can open it. Oh, you're throwing another punch. Oh,
is it hold to open instead of tab?
I'm glad you brought that up because there's also an attack in Avengers where you hold the button and it does like a combo
a heavy. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just want you to imagine trying to open a crate for more than 5 seconds in the game, how much that would disturb the flow of the game. Another thing is
can you just break the crate to get the loot?
No, unfortunately not. You can break all the other things like the material crates and stuff like that, but the actual gearboxes you can't break.
That's
awesome. There's another thing that slightly annoys me. Before each mission, you have the option to pick another character that might work better for that mission.
Okay.
And tonight we had to quit the game, start the whole thing over because that option wouldn't present itself in PlayStation. So I just want you to remember that, how frustrating something like that
seems like a fairly simple mechanic, right? You know.
Yeah. So all you got to do is let's say you and I are playable characters, right? You're on top.
Clearly, I'm the better one.
All right, you're on top. I'm on bottom. And I hit X on me, and it highlights me, right? So you assume that means that, I'm about to jump into the game and play Steve.
Right.
Imagine you're surprised when you're still the other character. The first time it happens, not a big deal. But the fifth time
that's kind of annoying.
That's very annoying. But otherwise than that, man, we're having a great time playing it. We're going to talk about some other games tonight.
Yeah,
so I'll just leave it there, man. Zach, tell the people who the sponsors are.
This evening, we are sponsored by Venmo. They're sending us free money to send you guys. Quick comment down below your Venmo accounts, and we'll send you 25 cents.
Venmo, when you absolutely have to pay your dealer, but want to leave no trail, except no substitute, except for maybe Cash App.
I don't use any of them. I don't use absolutely any of them.
Venmo is an interesting one because I'm forced to see what you've been doing with your Venmo money. Like, dude,
Is that
you
what
log
happens?
in-
I have no idea.
Yeah, when you log into Venmo, the first thing you see is Zach paid Chad for it. And it's
Really?
like whatever you whatever you paid Chad,
Wow.
and then your little comment to him like, thanks for the noodles, bro. And I'm like, and I die a little bit on the inside every time it pops up and I have to read that stuff. But tonight's not about me dying on the inside, which I'm doing every day. It's not about that.
Kind of is.
Tonight is a celebration of sorts. You know, it's a celebration. It's a hoorah. We had a big thing happen, but only Zach watched it, which is ironic because he's the most least interested person in this thing.
All right. Yeah, the PS5 Live Event, I guess, is what we're talking about. We're cutting our preamble short tonight. The PS5 Live Event, man, was some of, if not the most disappointing content that I've ever seen in my entire life. Dude, it led off with Final Fantasy. Listen, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. The game looked cool, right? It looked neat, right? I'm like, wow, okay, I'm looking at that and that's visually appealing. Not a final. It came up at Final Fantasy. I'm like, all right, I'm not a Final Fantasy, but I'm not gonna play it, right? I didn't play the other 15 of them. I'm not gonna understand what number 16 is about, right? So I'm like, okay, that looks good. And then we roll into Harry Potter, right? We're finally getting the confirmation that we're getting this Harry Potter game that we've known about for 5-ish years. Looks incredible. I grew up on the Harry Potter series, right? I've read the books, like most of them, and I've seen all the movies multiple times. Like I'm a fan, right? You call me a fan. I've seen a lot of the stuff, right? So that's cool. I'm gonna play that coming to PC, right? Here's a huge thing, right? Final Fantasy, the gameplay that they recorded for the event recorded on a PC. In bold, they were like, there was recorded on a PC in a PS5 like environment. So like, okay, Windows 10, recorded on a PC, coming to PC, fine. Harry Potter looks incredible. I don't know if you saw the trailer for it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Visually looks very, very good.
Very polished, very clean.
Right. Wow. I guarantee it won't be polished when it comes out. I guarantee you. Coming to PC, and then we roll into like, what was next, man? Did they show Devil May Cry next? Like they were digging bottom of the barrel deep for this. Really, really were. Devil May Cry, which is fine. It's a cool game. I can respect it. Special edition. Okay, it's not even a remake. It's not a new game. It's not a rematch. Nope. Special edition. And then we go into Call of Duty multiplayer or Call of Duty Cold War. And I'm like, okay. They did announce the alpha that's running right now. Okay, that's big, I guess. You know, you're playing into your fan base. The Call of Duty is one of the biggest games of all. Is maybe the biggest franchise of all time, right? Like, okay. And then we roll into like, I don't even know after this. Deathloop. I don't even know what the fuck this game is.
Oh yeah, a lot of buzz around this game, man.
But it's been delayed for years, I think. I think literally this game has been delayed for 2 years. They showed the PlayStation Plus collection, which is good, which I don't think is going to be a direct competitor to Game Pass. But sure as hell looks like it. It just, the moral of the story was, until we got to the God of War logo being introduced, right? And that's literally all it was, right? Kratos spoke in the background, and you could tell it was Kratos. I've never played any of the games, and I could tell it was Kratos, right? Spoke in the background, cool. That's neat, whatever. And then that's it. And then they announced the prices of $399, $499, which is prices are fine in my opinion, right?
Yeah,
about the same as what they for the PS4, cheaper than the PS3, whatever. It is what it is. There was no substance for this fucking event, man. And everything that they showed was either coming to PC or they said it was coming to PC and then later had to go, oh, wait a second, it's actually not coming to PC. That was a human error.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because again, ironic that you were the one that watched it. I wanted to watch it, but I was dadding and husbanding that day. It's crazy because, all right, so I went back. I did some research on it.
40 minutes long. It was literally less than an hour.
Wait, man, when the holders are together, we're having a good time.
You didn't even hold. But to be fair, though, you didn't miss a single. Five Nights at Freddy's was an announcement during this event. Do you know what Five Nights at Freddy's is?
No,
This
but
game where there's
like
an evil teddy bear chasing you, dog.
That sounds amazing.
It's a horror game. I mean, it's a horror game, right? It's one of the classics, just like standard horror games.
Yeah.
That was an announcement during this event. You're digging deep, man. You know, we didn't get like a Ratchet and Clank, a Jack and Daxter, like a Spyro,
You got
like
Demon Souls.
but it's a remake. It's a remake. This is one of the games. It's very interesting, and I have a lot of thoughts on this actually. That when afterwards they announced like, oh, coming to PC, but then they had to rescind that, and they're like, actually, it's not coming to PC, right? And what I suspect is that 6 months to a year from now, there will be an announcement that it's coming to PC. They said it was a human error, and my thought is the human error actually just put the information on instead of holding the information in. I think most of these games, if not every single one of the games that they announced, maybe other than God of War, and let's hope God of War comes to PC because it would be the true way to experience the game. They all were coming to PC or rumored to be coming to PC a year after release on the PlayStation.
I have a theory about this as well, and it's way out. But so you know, with PS Now, when you can stream a game on your PlayStation, like if it's not available for the download,
they're gonna do it on PC.
Yeah, you can stream it on your PC and the PlayStation. The problem is the latency is way worse streaming it on your PC than it actually is for some reason streaming on the PlayStation.
They want it like that. That's why.
Yeah, yep. I think that's going to be the next market we're heading into. I want to jump back for a second because I don't want to jump off. I don't want to jump off of this too quick. So yes, Demon Souls is a remake. Looks beautiful though. Visually looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks incredible. It looked incredible when it came out on the PS3 or whatever it was.
But not new content. But does appeal to a fan base. You know, there are people who are pumped up about this.
It's the original Dark Souls, right? If you guys don't know what Demon Souls is, it's the original Dark Souls. From what I understand, it may be the hardest one out of all of them.
Apparently.
It's a very, very loved game. Very loved game.
Die-hard fan base.
Yeah. That and Bloodborne, incredibly loved.
Yes. So I know there's a lot of buzz going on around that. Actually, someone was doing just snippets of direct comparisons of what the original looked like versus what the remake. Way better.
Way better. Yeah.
And I think I think that's going to pull some people in.
I agree.
But the next thing is the Devil May Cry thing. You know, I have a special relationship with this game, right? So the Devil May Cry franchise is always, in my opinion, this is my opinion, folks, one more bad decision away from no one ever playing it again. There's
only 5 games. That's usually a bad sign with a franchise like that, you know?
Listen, any franchise that introduces an emo band to fill in and play, you know, the music, and I'm talking about not even good emo, not like Thursdays or something like that. I'm talking about like really bad borderline goth music.
Like what? Like the characters in Final Fantasy look?
Yes. But yes. But so the last God of War was fun. It was fun, but they're coming for us now. The last God of War was fun, but it was basically just more of the same. They just returned to a traditional gameplay on it, not new content. That disappoints me that they're scaling it up for the PlayStation 5. But okay, maybe they're like 20, 50 people, maybe even let's say 2,000 people who've not played that game, and now they're going to play it on PS5. You got the PlayStation Plus subscription. That a lot of people are really excited about that.
Yeah, but you know, it includes. This is what scares me with the PlayStation Plus subscription, right? These are the games that it chose to pick to say that it includes, right? God of War, obviously a staple of the PlayStation community. Loved game, right? From what I have been told by you specifically, and not the viewer, Steve, the best story maybe ever written in a game.
Yeah.
And then Days Gone, right? Days Gone is there. Days Gone, not a very good game. You know, less than polished off the start. Then Persona 5. Do you know what Persona 5 is?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Monster Hunter World, and then more, right? Those are the 4 titles that they chose.
Wait, hold on for a second. Those are the only titles launching with PlayStation Plus?
No, and more, but those are the 4 titles that they chose to promote it, right?
Okay,
so that makes me think that the other titles are either indie games or stuff that no one's cared about in years, right? And that's what worries me. That's what worries me. When you get Game Pass through Xbox, you're getting all of the modern Xbox games, right? You're getting all of the Forzas. You're getting like even Sea of Thieves alone is worth it because it's just the content alone is worth it with Sea of Thieves. You're getting Gears is on it. Like every Xbox exclusive, even that could be remotely considered an Xbox exclusive is on it, and you can play it on the PC, right? You buy it once and you have it on both, right? And I just don't think there's enough substance right now to buy a PlayStation 5. I'm worried about a few other things too, but please.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna jump into the next subject because I want to stay rooted right here for a second because it's almost.
I have like 3 more subtopics in this topic alone.
It's almost hilarious that you said that one portion about it's not worth buying it yet.
At the moment, I think at some point it will be, but there's some other things that I've heard about what they're going to do with the PS4 and the PS4 support that they're going to have that makes me really fucking worried for the PlayStation 5.
So here's an interesting thing. I'm glad you brought that up because a reviewer that I enjoy watching his content, and I think he is as fair as a human being can be and unbiased when it comes to these things because he's able to articulate like, hey, I am not a PlayStation player. I prefer Xbox and I play on my PC predominantly. But he always gives everyone their fair shake. And he was talking about the Miles Morales game and how interesting of a case that is since it's releasing on PS4 and PS5.
There you go. Already know, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So you probably already from the technicals, from the hardware side, you probably already know where I'm going. The chipset, the 86, I always forget the name, the exact name.
It doesn't matter. The people that we're talking to don't know what these chipsets are. So
forget the chipset.
It's a different demographic.
Here's the long and short of it. Completely is going to be playable on the PlayStation 4.
Absolutely. PlayStation 4 in itself is a fine console.
Very fine console. And you're going to be able to play, if you have the Pro, like Zach does, I believe you're going to be able to play it in 4K. You don't have the Pro? I misjudged
I bought the
picture.
PS4 before the Pro came out. The Xbox, I have the best version of the Xbox One.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be able to enjoy Miles Morales, without any just fine. And it's gonna be a great game. Here's the weird thing about this. So that game in particular has drawn some controversy because people thought it was a DLC. Some people still think it was a DLC that they maybe spread a little thin, spread out.
Right there, what you just said is what I've heard repeated that this was supposed to be a DLC, and the first game did so well that they just expanded it into a second game, and that's very worrisome.
Yes, because that means who am I to complain? I'm going to buy it. But if it's only like 10 hours of actual gameplay, and for a guy like me that plays maybe an hour to 2 a day, so I'll stretch that out to maybe 30.
But still, if it's 10 hours of gameplay for a full price and they want you to buy a new console for it, that's absurd. That is.
So here's the weird thing, bro. The school is selling it for $49.99. Now, unless I saw that wrong, I only looked at it really quickly. You can check it out on the website. Maybe it was $59. I've misread it. But if it's $49, that is also very weird for a pre-order. The next thing about the Miles Morales game is that it's not actually a sequel. There's actually a Spider-Man 2, Sony Spider-Man 2 game coming out at some point, apparently. And this leads to those same rumors that this is an extended DLC.
Oh.
How much is it?
Very strange. The standard launch edition is $49.99, while the ultimate launch edition, which I'll have to look in to find out, I'll do that here in a minute, is $70. There's also some other stuff going on. Keep going. You're passionate about this topic, and I love it.
But it's two games, right? So original Spider-Man, and there's going to be a sequel to that. This is just kind of like a midpoint or a prequel of some sort to the second game.
But this is supposed to be a year after the first game, if I remember correctly.
Yes. That doesn't bother me as much, and I'm not going to go full conspiracy theory on it. I did think it was weird that the standard edition was $49, but now that you said, because they didn't have the price for the ultimate up yet, that makes more sense. But that's pretty cheap for an ultimate edition, isn't it? Ultimate edition is usually like $90 or something like
$80. And it depends, right? Because some games are different, right? Escape from Tarkov, for example, the Edge of Darkness edition was the ultimate edition, right? Is $150. right?
Oof.
Where like Blizzard, the Ultimate Edition is 70 or 80, and this game, the Ultimate Edition, which really, really concerns me, it includes the original Spider-Man and this game tacked on as a DLC. Man, you know, I want
Wait,
this
no,
game.
you're joking, right?
Yeah, so the Ultimate Edition includes Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. The game came out 2 years ago, and they're remastering it already? How can you
That's
remaster
weird.
a game that came out 2 years ago?
That's weird, man. But listen, okay, so I'm going somewhere with this. Even that, as strange as all that stuff me and Zach just laid out for you folks, right? Very strange stuff. But we're just, we're just two guys hanging out on the edge of the rumor mill here, trying to help you make an informed decision. I would probably keep that in mind. Still not a deal breaker for most people. This might be a deal breaker for some people. You have to 100%, unless Zach, please correct me because
I will.
you
Trust
actually
me,
watch
I will.
Controllers not included.
With the PS5?
Yeah.
That's just false.
Is it false?
I believe that that's false, yeah.
Because there was some people doing some other stuff, like we'll get into it in the next topic, that I thought was pretty weird, but also not a deal breaker for most people. You know, I do whatever it takes to get that. The weirdest thing about this this whole review for me was that we had so you know what, maybe I want to dial this one back. I felt as if there wasn't enough actual gameplay for games that people were looking forward to in the PlayStation 5. Like there were so many rumored games for the PS5 event and people thought were going to be shown. We didn't get any of the stuff that people would be, and not that Sony started any of these.
There is a controller with it. Yeah. I confirmed, yeah, but you get a controller. There's no way they could sell a console without a controller unless it was going to use the last gen controller, but it's not.
It's compatible with the last gen controller too.
It is, but it's not. It's not natively meant to work with it, right? It will work with it the same way that a PC will work with a Xbox controller.
Yeah,
but it's meant for the new controller, right?
Right. Digital edition, discless edition. This is the thing I really wanted to get into. So this is one positive for this.
We disagree on this. I think
we disagree on it, but so I think this is a positive for Sony. I think it's a positive and this is something they have going against Microsoft right now, which is like, hey, our diskless edition does not take a performance hit.
Yeah,
like you're getting the same performance for $100 less. You're just not getting an
experience.
Yep, yeah, you're just not getting a Blu-ray player. Which, by the way, if you're being a frugal spinner, you go to Best Buy right now. Your most low-end Blu-ray players are about $100. So that makes sense that they would tack that off.
Yeah, but not a 4K Blu-ray player. You got to remember that. I think this is supposed to be 4K Blu-ray.
So, good move for Sony, right? A lot of people are going to be looking at that when they're making a decision if they're going to buy the Xbox Series S or the diskless version of the PlayStation. True. And I think more people are going to lean that way towards the PlayStation because it's like, hey, you know what? I can get the same performance without really taking a hit. Go ahead.
I think it's really good. You had texted me, and I thought you had insinuated that you thought it was a bad idea. That it was hard. I think it's an incredible move for Sony. Most people are going to buy that diskless version.
I am.
Everyone should. Right at this point, the internet infrastructure is good enough. It's going to have 825 gigs of a solid state drive storage, I believe. We're not sure if it's expandable storage yet at this moment, but I mean, the PS4 had expandable storage, so I would assume that it's going to be expandable in some fashion. I think it's a very good move. I think that was the best thing that they've done so far.
It's a good look for them.
$400 for the console. Okay, so now we're going to get into some issues I see.
All right.
They're going to support the PlayStation 4 for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
That means
the games are going to be releasing on both.
On the PlayStation 4, right? Yep. That's very worrisome. And that gives PlayStation enough time to come out with the PS5 Pro, right? And that's the console you're going to want to buy. That's going to be the console that's going to truly run 4K the way that they're going to say it. There's going to do the things that you're going to want to be, and it's going to be $600, right? That's what the speculation that I'm hearing already for 4 years from now. So we'll come back to this in 4 years when Steve and I are doing the podcast then.
Hold on for a second. I want to chime in because you and I are actually in line with a lot of stuff tonight. Here's one thing you got to also keep in mind with the games coming out for PlayStation 4. Look to be investing into one of those adapters that you can hook one of those 4 terabyte mechanical drives, because you can't go higher than that, and it's actually going to drop down to 3.8 because newer games are going to take up way more space than you're accustomed to. That's just
the
fact.
alpha for Call of Duty took up 25 gigs on my PlayStation. I had to delete something else off of my PlayStation to install it.
Exactly. That's just a fact. For all you people who are saying that, hey, I'll just buy an SSD for my PlayStation 4.
Good luck.
Should be the same performance. Yeah.
Good luck.
Price a 4 terabyte SSD.
It's absurd.
It's an absurd amount of money.
Worth it. Yeah. I mean, the modern. I reinstalled Modern Warfare on my PC. 225 gigs to install it. 225. I have good internet. Right? It didn't take that long, but it's a lot of fucking storage, man. I have 6 terabytes of storage on my PC or something, so I'm not too worried about it. But man, that's a lot. I think with them supporting the PlayStation 4 for the next 4 years, I think it's a really, really fucking bad look to release a console, especially when your flagship games are going to come out. Right now, the flagship game on the PlayStation is a stretched DLC. Right, I hate to say it, and I'm not hating on the game because actually, like when I saw it originally,
it looks amazing.
And Steve can vouch. I texted Steve, and I'm like, "This game looks really good."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I texted you. I was like, I did notice, and I have never played the other Spider-Man. It looks like the combat's just like the Batman games, where it's very jumpy in between enemies. Right, like the Batman games. The pace of combat was similar to what the Spider-Man is, so that's iffy to me. Because I'm like, man, I could just go play the Batman games. The Batman games are fucking sick, right?
Only thing that's missing is the quick trigger triangle. You know how you would hit triangle or X when enemies are coming? That's not included.
Like
in Spider-Man.
parrying almost.
Yeah. That's not included in Spider-Man. Yeah,
that's whatever, right? So it's essentially, it looks similar to me, right? Again, I've never played it. I probably will never play it. I'll wait for Steve to tell me how it is.
Right. You should play it.
But it's it's essentially going to be a glorified DLC, right? It's going to be longer form DLC. It's going to be like the Witcher. The Witcher 3, obviously, right? You know how long the Witcher 3 DLC is?
I heard it's like the length of an actual game.
It's like 30 hours worth of content.
That's amazing.
Right. That's what this is. This isn't even going to be that. It's going to be half. It's going to be 15 or 20 hours worth of content, which is fine. Whatever, right? Most games are like that anyway. People don't have the attention span to play a game for longer than that, unfortunately now anyway. That's your flagship game right now. None of the games that they talked about other than Spider-Man were launch titles.
Yeah.
None of them.
Here's the crazy thing. So now if we can project a little bit into the future, we know the games are going to be a lot bigger. We know they're going to take up more space. It's going to need more resources. Yeah, that's that. So what? So let's talk about God of War for a second, right? This is air quotes up. Zach's going to put a little banner behind me. Steve's opinion.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Conjecture. So I feel as if, though, for me, God of War has carried the PlayStation in some quarters. Like its release has brought people back to the game. You said it's not rumored. It's not coming out until when? 2021?
2021, and it probably will be this time 2021. So we got at least a year.
Did they mention the other God of War game? Were they going to port it over to the PlayStation 4 or something like that?
Nope.
I think this would be a perfect time to port it over to PC, to be honest with you. Like, and hear me out on this. I think the marketing would be good, where people are like, hey, maybe I'll just wait. Or, I'll play this, and then that will kind of pull them towards the PlayStation, or at the very least buying it from Sony when they can port the other one to the Sony to PC. But I think this would be the perfect time to do that, man. Sure. And this all started in my mind over a conversation with you. I'm like, man, I wonder how it would look if I could play God. I would replay the entire game if I could play it on
the
PC.
series, probably, right?
Yeah, I would play the entire thing.
So here's the thing. Right, it will look better and it'll feel better, in my opinion, because it'll be running at a higher frame rate, because it'll be running at 140 frames per second or whatever. You have a 144 hertz monitor, right? You never had to experience the woes of playing these fast-paced games or these story games at 60 hertz, right? Other than on a PlayStation, because the PlayStations are garbage. But God of War will be better at higher frame rate. It'll look smoother. It'll feel smoother. Everything about it will just be like way more smooth, and that would be really good for that game, I think. I think in the next year, you're going to see an announcement from PlayStation that a lot of their stuff is coming to PC just like Xbox did. As obviously it's easier for Xbox because they fucking they're owned by Microsoft, right?
Yeah,
and they're like, hey, we have Windows. Let's put it on there. You're going to see that with the PlayStation. You're going to see it for sure. And you're going to see them remaster a lot of their old games because of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just make it like a version, like a Steam client, like just a Sony store,
or
like its
put
own
it on Steam. Put it on Steam. It's the biggest platform in the world, like, for gaming.
Yeah, but can't you just see Sony saying, "Hey, you're gonna have to download our thing too"? You know, I can just see them.
Activision does it. EA doesn't do it anymore though. EA's bringing everything. EA is on Steam again. So.
You know what though? So I did scour the internet watching the responses of the people who typically watch these type of things and who are diehards for Sony. And I'm not talking about like unhealthy diehards. I'm talking about people who just love the brand, have stuck with the brand.
Me, I'm one of those people. As much as I hate consoles, I have, you know, every version of the PlayStation behind me.
Brand loyalty, man. We're Americans. We're loyal to a brand. Look at how long
we're loyal to a Japanese brand.
We're loyal to a point up until the Japanese make something better. But I did watch some other content creators, man. And,
German, if you're asking me. But.
Yeah, German.
I own a German car, and you own a Japanese car.
It's the Germans. Yes. That's actually pretty weird if you think about that alliance. Hey, we're going off into a historical rant. At any rate, a lot of content creators who only do PlayStation, only do Sony content, and you stream only those games, they really enjoyed it. But they were at least clear-eyed and honest about it. And here's the thing. Everyone said the same exact thing. They were like, this event was the same event, but now with gameplay. That's it. And they all tuned in. They all tweeted the same exact thing. They're like, I'm just here to see if they announce God of War. They're like, that's it. I'm here to see if they do it.
Or the next
and
Horizon
they did it.
game or whatever.
The next Horizon. Did they show any footage from the next Horizon?
So it's the teaser has already been out. We already know it's coming to PC a year or two later. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I saw so many people afterwards were like, dude, I got to get my PlayStation 5 now. That shit was sick. And I'm like, what the fuck did you see that I didn't? Did I get up to pee in the middle of it? No, which I didn't. I didn't get up. It was 40 minutes long. Like, it's less than one of our shows. You could watch it twice and still have our show playing in the background. Actually, you should do that. Just mute the go to the playlist. Just let all of them play.
Unless your internet's not good, pick us over that. If your internet's
not
good.
You definitely should. We're better than it. I did not see a single thing that was like, man, I have to buy this console, right? And I could be sold on a console. I could be sold to like play an exclusive. I own both of this current gen's consoles, right? Like, let's be fair. I'm very loyal to the PC. My heart will always lie with the PC, you know, ever since I built mine, you know, 10 years ago, whatever it is, right? But, you know, you got to sell me on a PlayStation, and none of this sold me. And I saw so many people going, man, that was so sick. I gotta buy it now. And I'm like, you were gonna buy. First of all, you're gonna buy it anyway. Shut up. Yeah. Don't say this is the reason you're gonna buy it, because that didn't show anything, dude. That didn't show anything, and I was very disappointed.
In the words of the immortal Fat Mantis, let the fanboy in you die and just speak the truth. Just say I was gonna buy it, regardless of what this said.
Does Fat Mantis say that?
He said that to me once when we were we were talking about DC versus Marvel. And I was just like, yeah, I don't really get behind the DC brand. And he took a long pause and said, he's like, let the fanboy in you die and go enjoy this movie. And I hung up on him. And, and that's the way I like. That's how a fanboy would handle this stuff.
That's true.
I want to talk about the design for a second, man. And,
the physical design of the console or specs. What are we talking about? Because I might have to pull up a different page.
Let's talk about the physical design and then let's go into specs. We didn't find anything new specs. We know everything there is.
Yeah, we know everything. There's nothing to talk about the specs anymore. We've been over it.
I'm a little concerned about airflow. I'm sure it's going to be fine, but it is vertical and can lay it flat horizontally as well, right? Lay it flat. Yeah.
Have you seen the PS3?
Have I seen it? I love that thing.
But
I'm not even sure.
Where do you get air in it? I'm
not even sure that's a fan. I'm almost positive
it's that it's jet engine?
An audio clip. No, it's an audio clip.
Yeah, it'll be fine, man. It'll be fine. They have that shit figured out. It's not hard. where it jets out in the front, and there's vents in there. Like, I don't have one hands on, but I can see the engineering behind it.
Aerodynamics, yeah.
Whatever. It's all fucking. It's all there's vortices coming off of it if you put it in a wind tunnel. Like, who cares, right? Like,
listen, wait for the next supply chain, folks. Don't get the first ones. I got this feeling we're gonna get red eye of death type stuff with the first 500.
I think that's all the pre-order was available. Yeah, man. I think it looks good. I think it looks fine. I like the Xbox a little bit better, I think, because it looks like a PC, to be fair. The S version, the dumbed down version of it just looks like a speaker, which is hilarious.
That's what I thought too. I thought it was a Bluetooth speaker. I'm like,
I saw someone tweeted where it was like, it had the specs. It was like Xbox Series S design speaker, Xbox Series X design refrigerator, PlayStation design Wi-Fi router.
Did anyone ask for that though? Did anyone ask for it to have a speaker? Was this something that they did?
It's not a speaker. It's just it's just the design. It's contrasting colors look good, right? And that's just a fact. That's it. It just looks like a speaker. It's just funny. I don't know why the fuck they did it. Here's a good thing. Let me save you $500 for a year, right?
Hold on for a second.
Go ahead.
Hold on for a second. Let me just say this for all you please. For all you tweakers, all you modders, it's over. It's absolutely. I mean, it's not over for software mods, but you're not going to be able to do it on this console. Like, they finally closed the door. Sony had left a little door open for most people in that community to do some stuff for a while.
You're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, no, listen, you try with your own money. Like, I don't care. But like, it's almost like a death in there. I know the homebrew crew is always going to be able to do something software wise. They'll find a way to do whatever they do. But for the physical modders, it's come to an end. Zach, moment of silence for the physical modders who live in their mother's basement.
And it's over. Let me save you $500 for a year.
Go for it.
If you buy the Miles Morales on PS4,
which I am,
you'll get the free upgrade to the PS5 when you get the PS5.
There was a bit of controversy about another game regarding this very topic about who was going to get upgraded and who wasn't, and I can't remember what game it was, man. I was listening to it. Those
people are idiots. I just saved you $500 for a year, right? You're going to want the PS5 for when God of War comes out, right? And let it take full liberty of your TV, right? You have very nice TVs, right? Nothing special, they're okay.
Are you talking to me directly, or are you talking?
Yes, I'm talking to you, right? That TV that you have downstairs, it's okay, right? It's very, very nice. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I get it.
Let it. You're gonna want the 4K for God of War, right, when it comes out, and your PS4 doesn't do it. But the Spider-Man's gonna look good regardless, I think, and it's not gonna be, if it's 1080p versus 4K, I don't think it's gonna take away from the experience. Right. Where seeing that level of detail in 4K on God of War might. Just get Miles Morales. Save your money for the PS5 for another year for when we get God of War. Get the God of War edition PS5. That shit will probably look sick.
$800.
Yeah, it'll be worth it. Just
no one's going to college. I am going to wait. No one's going to college. I am going to wait on it. Now, I can't stop my mom or my mother-in-law, right, from buying it for my son.
No, that's.
I'm going to talk to. I'm trying to talk them out of it and say, hey, let's just build them a PC, right?
Yes.
It'd be
all
purpose. We'll throw.
They'll be able to do their schooling on it, right? Like,
yes. No Google class on this. You can use the school Chromebook. I have very suspicious. We're not going to get into my.
I know what you're talking about. I'll help you set up the parental controls on the router. Like, we'll go through the night, right? Like,
We'll just get a static IP going. Switch out the ports, everything.
You don't want the static IP on a PC, but anyway, we're not getting into networking now.
Wait, hold on. One last thing. So, Xbox has the expandable storage made by Seagate. That looks like a memory card.
Yeah. Whatever.
I have yet to hear. I haven't heard anything about PlayStation having that.
We don't know yet. I said that earlier. I was like, it's not 825 gigs and you'll have expandable storage. They haven't confirmed it yet, but the PS4 had it, so I don't see why it wouldn't.
Now, the big deal is that, so this is only according to Microsoft in regards to the Xbox. You cannot run, repeat, they've said explicitly, you cannot run their next gen games on a standard SSD external or especially a mechanical.
That's such
Obviously,
bullshit.
obviously people are going to try, but they're saying that the game will not be playable.
That's such bullshit, dude. I
Yeah.
can't believe that they're trying to pull that off, man. Like, do you guys not have? Do you not know what PCs are, Microsoft? You have
They're
the
like,
market.
no.
You have the market share on.
They're like, we only make Surfaces here. I don't know
on
what a
operating
PC is.
systems, dude. Like, they sell so many copies of Windows 10. Dude, I run games off of a fucking 5,400 RPM drive. Like, what do you mean it's not going to run off of it? Fuck off. Oh my god, I'm so sick of fucking Xbox.
I would love
dude.
to sit down with the I know we're drifting off in the Xbox, but I would love to sit down with the marketing guy who came up with that, because that was a marketing guy's statement. Someone, I believe, I can't prove it.
Of course,
Like,
the engineer in the back is pulling his fucking hair out.
like, could you explain to me what the thinking was? Like, I know the deterrent that you're attempting to do right now. You're trying to make people feel as if though that they need to buy these Seagates, which apparently those little Seagate cards are going to be expensive, because that's how they're going to make their money back on that console. What were you thinking? But yet here we are with Sony. We don't even know what their plan is.
That's the story of this generation, though. What the fuck is your plan?
Well, usable storage is 825, right?
Correct.
They say.
Right. So it'll be 750.
Yeah. And that pisses me off with Sony and Microsoft, but that's just something you have to deal with.
Man, I can't stand the console generations anymore.
No.
I don't even like game developers anymore, man. I used to.
I don't mind the game developers, man.
What do you mean? Here, let me lay this out for you.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5 came out 7 years ago, and they're porting it to its third console. It's going on its third PlayStation. Sorry, third console generation. Right.
Listen, I don't want that guy coming back in our comments, man.
The previous, I don't give a fuck. The previous 7-year gap, let's say like Grand Theft Auto 3 to 4, there was like 4 games in there. There was 4 games. I don't understand, man. I just don't understand. Developers, man, skill-based matchmaking in games, right? Because we have to cater to the casuals.
Next time, Sony, here's my last statement on this. No need for the live event. Just release the
Send me an email.
just release.
I like the live events. I do. Even how disappointing it is, it's fun. It's something to look forward to. They announce it. There's marketing.
Fun.
There's PR. But there was 4 million people watching it.
Hold on for a second. That's not the problem. It's the bit rate. I heard a really great breakdown on this, and then when I went back and looked at it, it's like the live event takes away from what the actual gameplay is going to look like. Like, just release it on the VOD, highest bit rate you can possibly have it, so people can see what the games are going to look like, and you have a better pitch.
I know what you're saying there.
Yeah.
The issue is Twitch limits you to like 8,500 bit rate if you're a partner, 3,500 if you're not, which fucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what the bit rate limit on YouTube is. I watch all of these. I watch the conferences on YouTube, right? I'm generally exclusively a Twitch guy. I like Twitch live stream. I love Twitch, right? I have it for a long time, since before it was Twitch, since it was Justin TV. But YouTube does these conferences better. I think their bit rate's better.
Yeah.
YouTube streaming is going to be better soon.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I agree with that statement 100%.
No, go down the rabbit hole. I mean, we run a podcast which it could be named Down the Fucking Rabbit Hole again, Steve.
Like, I was just watching Doc this morning. I mean, not this morning, or this afternoon, when he was streaming Cold War, and it just dawned on me, man. I was like, man, this just looks a lot better. Let me go, looks at it. Well, let me just go check out something else. And, I went to go look at someone else's stream, tried to find someone, a smaller streamer, can't remember his name. I was like, even the small streamer looks better. Just looks a lot better.
Imagine what I could do on YouTube. My stream looks good for Twitch, right?
Yeah, why don't you get on YouTube?
I just fucking couldn't be bothered. Yeah, man, I don't know. I listen, all you PS5 fans out there, wait until there's a game that legitimately needs the PS5 to run, right? Like, right now, everything in the next 3 years, 2.5. I'll give you 2.5 years. Let's do that. Everything that comes out in the next 2.5 years will be fine on the PlayStation 4.
While we're talking about PlayStation, but I know we're segueing into another topic here. There's something I want to talk about that, like Zach said, I'm a diehard. I want to talk about that God of War teaser, if you would permit me for a second, right? So
if we could call it a teaser, sure, go ahead.
If we can even call it a teaser,
I have comparisons I want to make, and
I knew you would. I knew you would. That's why it even made it on the list for tonight.
Yeah.
So they changed voice actors. I was kind of upset about that until I found out no, same voice actor from the previous game, but not the same voice actor from the games prior to the first PlayStation 4. First PlayStation 4 release, the one that takes place in North. It was actually another voice actor.
Hold on, do we know someone in God of War that does voice acting in God of War? Does EK do voice acting?
No. Actually, I was surprised that it wasn't him.
Yeah, I feel like he has a good voice. He would have a great voice for a fairly main character in God of War.
Absolutely. The guy who had traditionally done Kratos was an actor that was on a show called Living Single.
He passed away, right?
No, he's still alive. They just canned him.
No, some guy who did a major voice passed away recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I forget. If look up the guy for original Kratos while I'm talking about this. So he was he was an actor. He did a show called Living Single. Actually, fun fact, came out before Friends. Santana's gonna get really upset right now. It was Friends, but black people Friends. And then when Friends came out, that show promptly went away. It's almost as if the Friends came out. Yes. Does he have dreads and stuff like that? Little dreads or like a bald head? It doesn't matter.
No.
So the new voice actor is actually an actor from the Stargate series TV show, and this guy's like deep into the Comic-Con world. If you don't know it,
he's not the original. This guy's not the original. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, forget about it. Don't worry about that. So here's one thing: that guy, the new guy's voice, amazing, so distinct. As soon as it started, the music started. I thought that was amazing. I'm also very happy that I think they forced the developers for Assassin's Creed to change their game name from Ragnarok. They're like, that's not going to happen. They're like, there's no way in hell. Originally, it was supposed to be Assassin's Creed Ragnarok.
I know.
That was like the teaser name. They were like, you got to switch it up. The only thing that upsets me about this, if you can, like you said, if you can even call it a teaser, is there nothing you could have shown us? You couldn't give us some character design? Not one thing? Is this just for the build up, man? Because to wait to 2021, and I know it's going to be summer of 2021. It's not going to be like on the mark.
You got a year. You got a year at least.
A year to wait for this, man. But it does give me time to go back and reminisce and talk about a franchise that's really course corrected. And that's what this segment was really about. So God of War 1, revolutionary in regards to a hack and slash. It actually killed another franchise that was supposed to be the next big hack and slash that was called the Mark of Kree. This game came out and people were just all about it. Part 2 did something that can seldomly be done with that type of franchise, with that repetitive gameplay, which was built on the story, and it's always driven by the story, and people absolutely loved it. Part 3, amazing. Could have ended the whole series right there. Of course, there's money to be made.
Money! Man, you're drawing parallels exactly to fucking Assassin's Creed, by the way.
But because the way the story ended, could have ended right there, but they had a little teaser like, hey, something else is going to happen. But then we had to wait. There was a long silence. And then they came out with, I forgot about the Bastard games. So there was God of War 1, 2, and then there were the PSP games, I believe. Yeah. Somewhere in between those two.
Did you play those?
Yes, beat them through and through because that's how much I need to know about the game.
Yeah,
and then we got God of War Ascension. This was the game that almost ruined the franchise, even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with the game in regards to gameplay. Like it's fine. The story was a little limited. It was just that people wanted something more after part 3, and they released this, and it turned a lot of people off. Sure. And so when the new one came out on PlayStation 4, I had my doubts. I'd heard rumors about where the story was going, and he was going to be going into become fighting the Norse gods and stuff like that. And at that point, some people were also saying that he might be going to Egypt to do that, and that is still talked about in the story. That Kratos is basically going to go around killing off all the original, all the gods. He's
going to be the one true god at some point, right? Is that what's going to happen?
I have no idea. If he does that, then that's going to enrage a community. But here's the thing about it, man. I would really love to get you to play the last God of War game, if for no other reason than to just see that the story is all that it really relies on. Like, yeah, there's great weapons development. Yeah, you can make some great gear. There's great side missions that you don't really get bored of. There's so much content in this one game, but it's all driven by the story. And for all that excitement and for all of that buildup, and for me to be sitting around pretending that life is good up until this teaser came out and my life was finally going to be full again, that's all I got. And it dropped me. And it hurt me. I pushed my 2-year-old off of me. I'm sorry, my 3-year-old off of me. Oh, wait, he's 2. I pushed whichever one was on me off of me. And I was like, that's it? And I don't know what else to say.
I feel like you're new to this, man.
I'm not new to this, man. I just fall for it every time, man. Like, you got me so gassed up. You basically sent me a text every hour on hour, like, pretty sure we're gonna get a God of War trailer. 40%.
I was very. I told you, man. I told you a week ago that this is what we're gonna get, right? This is the exact same as the fucking Elder Scrolls for me, right? I love the series. I've went back and played like a bunch of the other games. I started on Skyrim, played a bunch of the other games, right? Like, and then E3, like, I don't even know, 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, whatever it was. Yeah. The end of it was just like Elder Scrolls 6.
Good night.
And I'm like, give me more, dude. I was literally standing up, like jumping up and down. I'm like, let's go, no fucking Elder Scrolls. That's it. Well, I mean, that's still pretty fucking cool, I guess.
They did the same thing. Kevin Feige did the exact same thing. Talk about burying the lead. Him and Sony must shop at the same store. Like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? So I remember the MCU did their like Phase 4 announcement, and they're like, "So we got this guy and the Eternals and blah 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 blah." And then at the end, where everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we all knew this stuff was coming," and then out of left field, they bring Mahershala Ali out, and he struts out to the stage, and he puts a hat on, and it says Blade, and you get the Blade logo. And literally, they were like, "Thank you for coming."
Fade to black. Boom. And it's like, crazy. Okay.
And I know, I like you said, I'm not new to this. I got to be mature about it. It's good marketing. It whets the tongue, gets the appetite going. Because for the next year or so, I'm going to be spending time in all the
deep dark web forums of fucking God of War. He's going to be reading the fanfic.
Yeah.
That to cap off the Sony event was the most exciting thing, and we knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Man. You got to play it, man. I'll let you borrow my disc. Man.
I don't care.
I mean, I won't let you borrow my disc, Sony. I'm not going to give my disc to Zach. I'm not. I would never share a game.
I will buy it myself if I wanted to play it. Let's be fair. It seems like a game that I could watch like a recap of, and I'd be just as happy. It's the same thing with the new fucking Assassin's Creed games, dude.
I don't get what's so different for that for you, and then for like Red Dead Redemption. Like, it is literally
2 ever, right? Yeah. There's only 2, right? There's not 6 that I have to play. Each game is 150 hours long. They're open world. They're a very good story, right? I'm not saying that God of War isn't a good story, but I'm saying that Red Dead Redemption is a good story. Like, but that's it. They're 10 years apart, and they're incredibly well developed, and we get one every 10 years. I played the first one on the PS3 so long ago. I'm like, all right, I got to play this one.
And someone let me borrow that game. You didn't play it? You didn't finish it?
I didn't finish it, no.
Why not?
I never got around to it.
Wait, hold on for a second. That was one hell of a build-up for a drop like that. You're like,
I told you this multiple times.
Every 10 years, they give us this game. I sacrifice a person on a hill to make sure I get the game first. But I didn't finish it this year, so I killed that kid for no reason.
Yeah, this one got repetitive in the story. The story's incredible, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But every fucking 3 months in the game, you have to like move camps and basically meet a new town and do all the new things in the new town. It's like, all right, dude, I'm done. Like, I can't fucking keep doing this. Like, it's the same thing 5 times.
But you beat the campaign.
No, I got 70% through the campaign. And I'm like, all right, I see where this is going. This is fine. I don't need to finish this. And I didn't.
Wait, so was you You stopped at the what are you in a Scorsese film or something like that? You put your remote down, smoke a cigarette, lean back, and you're like, I'm done with this, and then
No,
walk
okay.
away.
So to be fair, I was also playing it on console, right? And
Okay,
my aversion to console is pretty big.
okay,
And you know, for me to set up the console took me like 8 minutes, and I just didn't want to commit the time.
I got you. You had a similar experience with that today, but I noticed it's not on the list anywhere. Do you want to add that really quick? That what
The Call
you
of Duty
did
stuff,
today?
yeah. Let's talk about it. It'll be very quick.
All right, good.
I played 2 games of COD. I'm adding it to our topic list right now. Here you go. COD Black Ops Cold War. Listen, the game felt very good. Let's be fair. I thought the game felt really good. I thought, again, I take it with a grain of salt. I'm playing it on a console. I don't play things on a console. I don't like to play things on a console. I played for 2 matches. My hands hurt after, right? This is how little I play with a controller. So I'll set my official review until the game comes out on a beta comes out in PC or something that I could play, you know, at 240 hertz and you know, with my mouse that I could fucking move, and I know how to you know, reload and jump, and you know how to figure things out. The game felt good. The game felt fine. You know, it's a game I could play. Right? It's way better than Modern Warfare feeling, in my opinion. I like the guns. I recognize all of the guns from previous Call of Duties. I know the attachments that I want to be like. Yeah, I knew how to play the game. It was fun, right? For example, my second game, I went 35-10, right? Like, it's for someone who exclusively plays on PC, picked up a controller, playing against people who play on PlayStation, right? Well, 35-10. That's a pretty solid game. I wouldn't be happy with it on PC, but you know, on a console, I'm very happy with it. And it was against Reggie. I was playing against Reggie, and that made it even better. But
Well, you guys were playing PvP, or you were like, or you? What,
hold on. There is no such thing in the alpha other than PvP.
oh, okay.
You know, I'm not getting an alpha. I'm not playing the entire campaign. No, it's just they released like very limited games with very limited modes, and very limited maps, and they're like, hey, you know what, test it out for us, right? And not crossplay and not other stuff. It's like let's just test it. And I'm playing. I joined Reggie's game because I thought it would be funny, and I joined it right at the start and smoked him. Which is nothing against Reggie. Reggie's a very good player. I'm just a little bit better. I think we won the domination 200-103. Like that's a domination.
hold on. I got to grade the troll level. Troll level, not quite black belt on that one, but definitely a brown belt. Like, definitely brown belt.
You'd be better. You'd be better if you want me to lay it out. Reggie was was streaming, and I'm like, hey, I had shut the PlayStation off. I'm like, oh, Reggie's playing. Bling. And then the game comes on, and I'm like, all right, and he's loading. Okay, joining. And then I went in. I think I killed him 9 times. I think he killed me once. Sorry, shout out Reggie. Shout out the nose.
Shout out the nose. In the building.
It feels good. It felt responsive. I like the flow of the maps. I thought the maps made sense. I thought the gameplay made sense.
Yeah.
And now here you want some issues?
Yeah, what's up?
There's skill-based matchmaking in the alpha.
Oof.
Skill-based matchmaking, widely considered is what ruined Modern Warfare. You know, other than the glaring issues with the actual multiplayer itself. You know, a lot of those you could look by if you're shitting on people. There's skill-based matchmaking in the alpha. It's a bad sign. It's a really bad sign.
Let me ask you a question. So, again, as a novice, just someone sticking their toe in, would you be happier if they did it the way they do with Siege, which is like, and no one respects those
casual,
rules right?
ranked?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me casual and give me ranked, right? Because if I want to like play against people my level, well, you know, there's not many of them, then I'll go into the ranked game mode and play that. But most of the time when I'm playing is either I'm warming up and waiting for my friends, or we're playing with my friends, right? And we're just going to want to play casual and like be able to like have an entire conversation while we're playing the game, right? And at the moment, the way that it is you're trying like it's a show match every fucking time. And it's kind of annoying. And even then I went 35-10 with a controller. So
you know what? It's funny because when you sent me that picture, man, for a second I saw a keyboard in front of your PlayStation. I was like,
that's
what is
my stream PC keyboard.
Oh, I was like, "What is he going for it? Like, did he
No.
get one of those dongles and he's like not gonna respect it?" But yeah, I watched Doc stream the game for like about 45 minutes, man. And
Sure.
I'm not watching the gameplay because I don't have anything to really I don't understand it enough to
Uh-huh.
know if it's good or bad. But I do understand human nature and I understand human behavior. And watching him play it, man, I could see that look on his face where this was something very familiar to him, which
Uh-huh.
also translated into something that he enjoyed.
Sure.
But I'm sure it's gonna have its problems. But I'm like I said before multiple times, I'm happy to see it return to a form where people are able to enjoy it. I do believe that you have to make things better, but you don't necessarily have to change a thing to make it better, right?
If skill-based matchmaking is in the game, the way that it was in Modern Warfare and the way that it's going to be in Black Ops, I'm very convinced at this point, without a ranked system, the game is going to die very quickly, and everyone's just going to go play Modern Warfare with Warzone. That's just how it's
Like
going to be.
Warzone.
They're just going to
Yeah.
play Warzone. There would be no reason to play this game, unfortunately. I thought it was fun. When's the last time I said that about a Call of Duty? It's been at least a year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I
I
thought
just
it was
trying to
fun.
I'm trying to understand the motivation behind that because they haven't openly said anything about the skill based thing, have they?
Matchmaking.
So what would be the motivation to do that?
It's the
Just not to
casual. It's the cater to casuals, right? It's the cater to that guy that has an hour a week who's not a very good player, so he could just play against other bad players and have a fun time, right? Whereas
Okay.
if you had an hour a week and you got in a lobby with me, it would be a bad time, you know? Like you're not gonna be able to move out of your spawn. Like no offense, Steve, I love you to death. If it was me versus you, right? And you get an hour a week to play Call of Duty or an hour a day to play Call of Duty, and you log on after a hard day at work, kids are asleep, right? Wife's leaving you the hell alone, right? You log on, you're like, fuck man, I'm gonna play some Call of Duty. This is my favorite shit to play. Let's load into a game. And then it's me on the other team, and the way that it would go, like that's just not fun. Right? You would literally be having a bad time, and that would be like, all right, you know what? I'm not playing Call of Duty anymore. I'm just gonna go play God of War, right? Like I'm just gonna play something where I don't have to play against anyone else. It's a good story. I'm familiar with it. I love it. Like I'm gonna go do that instead, right? I'm gonna go play the Avengers instead, right?
Right.
That's why skill-based matchmaking is there.
But okay, I'm sure it's me. That sounds like a negative to put. So you're
It is. It very
no,
much
it
is.
is. But I'm sure there's something I'm not grasping. When I play Siege, I go into the casuals, and I'm supposed to only be playing with casuals. What you're describing in Call of Duty is saying, give it to me one more time. What are they doing exactly? What is this?
So the way that it's based off of your kill to death ratio, your win loss ratio, and your score per minute.
Right.
Historically, if you look at mine, you know my kill to death ratio is over 2. Most games it's over 3. So I'm getting 3 kills before I die on average, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the average player is 1-to-1. You know, get a kill, die, get a kill, die. Right? That's the average player. Obviously, you go on streaks and you go on death streaks, whatever. Right? You average out to be 1.0. That's the average player. I'm at about a 3.5 in most games. My win to loss ratio, I don't know, it was a 12 or something. 12 wins to 1 loss in Black Ops 4, right? The last game that I actually really played seriously. That's a huge number, right? If you look at Modern Warfare, I'm probably 1.2 on both of those. And that's a huge discrepancy. You can go back to Black Ops 3 where I'm fairly similar stats to Black Ops 4. Most games, I'm around the 3 KD mark and around the 7 or 8 win-loss ratio mark. So if I play against you, right, who's going to be a 0.5 kill-to-death ratio player and a 0.75 win-to-loss ratio. Actually, you'd probably be a 2 win-to-loss ratio player. I feel like you're good enough, you know enough to actually win games where most people don't.
But it gives me an advantage of some sort, right? That's what you're saying. It's
right,
it's
but you are now going to play against the other people who have a 0.5 kill to death ratio and the 0.75 win loss ratio, right? Where I'm going to have to play against the other people who have a 3.5 kill to death ratio and a 12 win to loss ratio. So everyone starts working down towards 1, right? They want everyone as bad as you could be and as good as you can be to be at a 1.0 kill to death ratio and a 1.0 win to loss ratio. So everyone seems like they're on the same playing field. And that's what they're doing.
Oof. Man, you know what? I've had someone break down all the scheduling of drugs and what makes them a schedule 1, schedule 2.
Me too, and I still don't understand it.
I've gone through the psychodynamics and the family dynamics before. What you just described to me, man, sounded like some advanced stuff that even now my 39-year-old mind is slipping the whole, like it's grasping at straws to hold on to it.
It doesn't make sense. It makes the game not fun, right? I do enjoy playing the ranked game modes in the game. Black Ops 2, I think Black Ops 2 had a ranked game mode on PC. I was the highest rank you could be.
Right.
And I grinded that for a while, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of fun, right? Like when you start out, you're shitting on kids, you're playing against like bronze players essentially, and I'm not that in Call of Duty. And then I get up to the top when it's an actual, like, I'm using teamwork and tactics to win this game, and it's fun for a while. But then I also want to go and play with at you, for an example, right? Like, you're a great example. Where, like, I want to play together, and we should be matched up with, like, not people my skill level, but also not people your skill level. Somewhere like, mix. If you get one of me and one of you on a team, and like it's all mixed, that's way more fun than it would if you join me and it's all people my caliber players.
And I'm just dying as soon as the game starts.
Right. It just becomes not fun. And then you don't want to play with me, and then now we're not playing together. Now it just ruins the game, right?
That reminds me of one of our earlier Gaming with a Dad episodes. I actually thought I was going to do a lot worse when we went into the 2v2s.
You got 1 kill in 3 games.
Yeah, no, I got more than that, man. All right.
I'm going to go back and watch these videos. This is a highly contested topic on this show.
You go back and watch it, because I watch it every morning before I go to work.
That's my training montage, bitch.
But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You might, here's another thing that's going to be interesting about this. COD League's going to PC. This is coming out on PC. It's going to be interesting to see how many people are actually going to be playing it on PC versus on PlayStation. I know there's still going to be a huge market for that.
Crossplay. It doesn't matter.
And
they're on PC with a controller. It's not even like they're on PC with a fucking keyboard and mouse. That's way different.
You know what? Hex was. I was listening to him the other day. Funny guy. The more I listen to his stuff, very funny guy. Would love to buy him a beer and a chicken sandwich one day, man. And it's just, he was talking
tacos.
about.
You want to buy him tacos?
So he was talking.
This is a known thing. Hex loves tacos. What are you talking about?
So he was talking. He took a swipe back at all the PC players, the whole aim assist thing, and he's like, "Look, man, if you guys can use your entire arm to aim." He's like, we should be allowed to have aim assist. And I keep forgetting, like, there is a bit of an advantage of playing with keyboard and mouse. There's a precision.
Absolutely, there is.
But you got to give him the aim assist, man. But back to Zach's experience with Cold War. So other than that, you had a good time for the hour before your thumbs started to shut down.
And it wasn't even an hour. I think it was about a half an hour. I didn't stop playing because my hands hurt. I would have played through it, and it would have been fine eventually. I just don't like I'm playing it at 60 frames per second, which, I might as well just fucking punch myself in the nuts. I would have the same amount of fun playing anything at 60 frames per second.
Hold up. You just reminded me of something that made me really angry, man. And I have to admit it now as we're recording it.
Okay.
So we were playing the Avengers on the not so great but nice TV over there.
Yeah, not anything special. It's not an OLED.
And I had
forget
that. We were playing it on Gavin's Insignia TV, which is a 4K TV. Nothing to be scoffed at. It's a Fire TV. And I was, I'm playing the Avengers. I'm like, man, this looks really good. And I remember the other night I was playing the Avengers and I was trying to get my frames per second above 60. And there was no option. I was also trying to get my hertz above 60. There was no option on my PC. I could not change it from 60 hertz. And they reminded me, I'm like, oh, man.
Did they cap it at 60 on PC?
I think, unless someone please correct me in the comment section, I could be doing this wrong.
Did you take VSync off?
Yes. First thing I turned off. I remember my experience with the Division. Could not. And the only time it goes up to like 100 and above is when it's doing cutscenes and loading. Sure. It's when and like I can't. It's at one point I was playing steadily at 45 frames per second.
Okay.
And you just reminded me of that, but it doesn't look horrible on my monitor. Obviously, the monitor is good, but man, it looks amazing on the TV. And I just had to admit that because I think you said something to that regard. You're like, oh, it should probably look better on your TV than on your PC. And I'm like, no, it's about the same thing, but it does. It looks absolutely amazing. There is one thing I dislike about it. It's the shadowing effect. Is that what frame tears are? What do you call it?
Yeah, tearing is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the game, I'm looking it up. I'm on a forum right now about Avengers playing above 60 frames per second. Apparently they didn't design it for above 60, and it looks bad above 60 frames per second, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, that happens in games sometimes for indie developers, but
man.
Yeah, and then they say that a lot of people are complaining that the engine isn't very great either, which I could see on like a one-off game, or not a one-off game, but like a new game, right? They're making a new engine for it.
It's BS. It's not COD, man. You know, and COD's not Rainbow Six Siege, man. I mean, that's once COD players realize that their skill level is that beneath that of the average Gears of War 5 and Siege player, then you know things will be right. And you're right,
man. Your hot takes are amazing, man. Are absolutely amazing. And
why?
You know, you're a Gears player, right? I'm gonna put you in that category. You think you can hang with me in most games?
In Gears?
I would fuck you up in Gears.
Exactly.
I would absolutely fuck you up in Gears, and I've played it for so little amount of time, and I was so angry the last time I played it. I would buy it. I would buy it and kick your ass in it.
I would smoke you, beat you as bad as the old woman who tried to get the seat in front of me on the bus that day.
You say that, but at some point, being able to aim and click on heads comes into play, and I'm pretty fucking good at that.
You know what? There's one thing I've noticed about Gears that really responds well to me. It's not an FPS, right?
It's not. It's not. Well, it's a third person shooter, first of all.
Yeah, but it plays a lot like another game I really enjoy playing, The Division.
I know. I was going to say it's very bullet spongy. And hold on, my aim is really fucking good in The Division too.
You know what's funny though? I was playing a competitive game one day, and this dude just kept peeking, and I'm like, "What is he doing over there?" So I just kept sneaking around him. When he peeked that last time, I got a headshot on him, and that mother effer did not die.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's not a one-shot headshot in that game.
Unless you have a sniper.
Right, that's fair. I feel like you would like Tarkov, man, just because of how meticulous it is.
I think I would too, man. I mean, the greatest game ever made, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, has really taught me that, like, you're okay? You look a little green over there. No, I just can't afford it, man. I can't afford the stress that I see you guys go through. You say wipes, and you guys say it's a good thing.
Wipes are good in Tarkov. They are. I promise you.
All I hear is that everything I've worked for. Imagine, if you will, me after playing the game for 60 hours, building all this stuff up, coming downstairs, and you not telling me they were doing a wipe. I come down.
You would know because they do events before. They announce it and they do events, and it's only once every 9 months or something now. But wipes are good. You would enjoy wipes because it gives you a reason to play the game again. Because right now, if you level up past 40, there's no reason to level up past 40.
Right.
You get to play the game again, and everybody's on the same playing field. So that's like everything is back to basic. Everyone's using AKs with bad ammo and no armor. Right. Right now, the best of the best players are using the best armor with the best ammo with the best guns. Right. And then like just the average person is like, all right, well, I got good ammo in this okay gun, and well, because of the ammo, I couldn't afford armor, so good luck, right? And you get that guy who comes in, jumps around a corner, and fucking headshots you. But everyone at the beginning of the wipe is the best time for Tarkov. That first 2 weeks in Tarkov are the most fun. The PvP is the best. You don't insta die unless there's a really good headshot.
Beautiful, by the way.
Oh, the game is like incredibly. But then you don't have any performance in the game. You know, I don't run the game at more than 100 frames per second.
It's crazy. You know, I rewatched that landmark clip that you sent me, and I wish that I was actually an editor because I would like to put that up. Just splice a COD player playing COD versus landmark playing because the way
it's the same. He does that all day, 12 hours a day.
The way he ran in that room, he's like, "It's a hacker, hacker." Like, it just murks all those poor kids.
Yeah,
I might try it out, man. If I get maybe if I get a credit or something like that somewhere down the line,
or just buy the base version. You don't have to buy the $150 version. The base version's cheaper than your average game right now. It's like $40, and it goes on sale all the time. It goes on sale all the time. Next time it goes on sale, I'll buy the game. So you don't have to feel
right now Santana's listening to this because now she listens to the entire episode. It's funny because I almost attacked her tonight at dinner when she was like, "Yeah, I got to that one part where Zach was like, that's my least favorite thing about doing the show is when you start behaving like this." And she's like, and I agreed with him. And I wanted
when he starts arguing in bad faith.
I wasn't even arguing in that clip. That's the funny part. I was trying to avoid the argument. I'm alone on an island by myself. I avoid debates, and I still get into debates. Like, I'll literally be sitting at a table with family. I'm like, "How was everyone? Good. I have no."
You want to talk about debates? You want to say some funny shit that happened to me on Twitter? I see a guy tweet where he's like, You know this Crossfire game that's coming out, right? We've talked about it a few times.
Yeah,
right? It's a
yeah.
remake of the essentially mobile game that's on PC.
No.
And this guy's like, man, Crossfire is going to come out and it's going to have the first BR that doesn't have skill-based matchmaking in it. And I'm like, no, that's just fucking false. H1 didn't have skill-based matchmaking. PUBG didn't have skill-based matchmaking until recently. Fortnite, when it came out, didn't have skill-based matchmaking. The Arma 3 mod didn't have skill-based matchmaking. He's like, no, it's not. He goes, well, those games weren't AAA titles, and those would be the first ones since then. And I'm like, oh, okay. So your statement of this game won't have skill-based matchmaking for the first time ever has now become this game technically will be the first after all the other games went to skill-based matchmaking that weren't AAA and now are AAA. I'm like, where the fuck you? I'm like, your argument sucks.
Hold on for a second, just to make sure. Was this someone you know personally?
No.
See, that's when you can bring that level of smoke. I've had debates with some people. You know, I'm not gonna, but I don't want them coming to the channel. The Hebrew Israelites. I debate these dudes all the time, and I'm just like, I want to follow you. And it's the same thing. They have a bad argument. Like, so let me just take you back to your original.
Right. This is what the statement was. I literally copy and pasted it and put it in quotes. And I'm like, this is what you said. That's just false. Right. And I'm like, you're just wrong. And he's like, well, actually, I said this already, dude. Don't worry about it. I'm like, hot takes aren't your strong point, man. Good luck. Click.
You know what the crazy part is, man, is when you can make someone better at these type of discourses and stuff like that. And Santana has become really good because she's adopted some of my tactics and she uses them against me.
I can't.
So
that's fun.
I use the open-ended tactic a lot when I'm debating. I'm like, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. Mm-hmm. So if you wouldn't mind repeating your point to me, which is usually infuriating to a person because you're like, say it one more time so I can understand.
Yeah, give me a fourth time.
Yeah,
like, you're just being a dick now.
And then just like, for instance, she hit me with one of those one day, and I almost like.
You're like, you know what? You've seen the GIF from the IT crowd, right? Where the guy reads the paper and then just gets up from the boardroom, walks over to the window, opens the window, and walks out.
That sums it up, man. That sums it up, dude.
Call of Duty Black Ops. I'll give you my full opinion when I can play it on PC.
Hold on a second. Before we jump ship, the Crossfire thing, man. I'm looking at that game, and for some reason, I don't know why I'm so drawn to it. But I need to see some actual gameplay footage because I am notorious. I haven't spent any time looking up other than the one clip I send you like every month, and you're like, you sent me this already.
that has happened, actually. Not every month, but it has happened.
It comes up in my feed. Give it to me one more time. It's an Xbox title originally, right?
No, it's a PC title originally, I believe. Crossfire is the most popular FPS in the world at the moment. It has the most monthly players. Yeah. But it's it's like a mobile FPS in my opinion, right? Same thing like Ironside. I don't know if you know what, or I think it's Ironside. And it's really popular in China.
Well, that's right off of my list right now because I'm not putting anything. I'm actually going to try my hand at Valorant. I was thinking about doing one day.
Have fun. Just play CS. It's a better game.
I don't know why you got to be that way, man. A lot of people worked really hard. A lot of people worked really hard to bring us
the Chinese. It's owned by it's a game owned by Tencent because Riot Games is owned by Tencent.
Yeah, you can't say that. You can't say that word, man. You can't say Chinese.
Owned? Oh, sorry, Chinese.
I don't
know. Valorant is just Counter-Strike with hero elements from Overwatch. That's all the fucking game is. I don't care. You can debate me all you want on it. The movement's the same. The guns are essentially they literally this is the op in AWP in CS is the one-shot sniper, right? That's like the ultimate skill gun is the op. They literally named that sniper in Valorant the operator. Like okay, stop trying to fucking say that you're not making a Counter-Strike. Listen, the game is fun to no, it's not. It's not actually fun. And it's not fun to watch either. Wow. I'd rather just play Counter-Strike. And that's saying something because I'm not good at Counter-Strike and I dislike it.
It's your turn for a segue, man. We're becoming something infamous like this. Like Linus is pretty bad at segues, but
we might be good at segues.
No, you're horrible, bro. You're right there with me.
What do you mean? How horrible am I? Am I worse than the PlayStation 5 pre-order debacle? As bad as that was?
Good one, but you also damn it, I didn't get to count on that, you son of a
118.55. We're trying a new thing, right? It's a little inside baseball. We're trying a new thing where we're going to add timestamps in the description. Thank you, Fat Mantis, for pointing that out. I thought we should have those, but I had never gotten around to even mentioning it. So you guys can skip through the topics that you want to watch, or watch the whole thing. Just mute it.
Actually, what happened was I brought it up to you once before. I think it was like earlier. Yes, I did.
I don't remember that. And then was I drunk? Was I still drinking?
Yeah, because your response was like as if I had called your mother a name. You're like, no fucking way, bro. There's no way we're doing this. Like you were like an inch away from taking off your shirt. You're like, you want to do it? Do you edit the videos too, Steve? Like,
it's a fair point. I don't remember it, but it sounds like something I would say. Anyway, I don't remember the PS5 pre-order either because it sold out so quick. So the PS5 has their launch event. They announce the prices and say, hey, tomorrow you could pre-order our fucking thing. And then 30 seconds later, every retailer opened up their pre-orders and they were sold out in minutes.
It's insane. And the bot action on this is something like incredible. I feel strongly about. Man, I felt strongly about the use of bots and purchases for quite some time. And that's why I've had opportunities to take advantage of this type of stuff, and I never jump on it because I don't want to be a part of the problem. I thought about setting up a
bot for the fucking the 3080.
I know you did.
I was over here like. So we're back after a slight technical difficulty. We were talking about the PS5 pre-order debacles. I don't know exactly where we were because it's been probably about 10 minutes. For you guys, it's instant. For us, it's about 10 minutes. Realized it immediately. We took a small break. It's a thing we should do in the middle of these shows sometimes. We get very passionate. So the PS5 pre-order stuff, man.
Was it an argument?
No, it wasn't. You know, it's sometimes I call being passionate having to pee.
Yes. I get my passion all over myself sometimes. I get so passionate.
Like Stan's dad from that South Park episode.
Yes, exactly.
So we're talking about the PS5 pre-order debacle, about how it was poorly timed and no pre-order was actually on the time it was supposed to be. It was insane, man. Sony did this shit on purpose. You know that, right?
That's the genuine consensus of the internet, is that this was intentional and it was to drive up the demand.
Yeah.
But also, but here's the thing, man. This is the unfair part. And I know what you're going to say. The internet's not fair. Video games aren't fair. Nothing's fair in this place except for the RNC. You can always count on the Republicans taking care of you. They're also our secondary sponsor for this segment. So thank you to the RNC for sponsoring this segment. But here's the thing, man. It's amazing you sat through. You let me get through that whole thing. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, you told me before the show that I had to be less abusive. I felt like I wasn't that abusive, but you know, you brought it up, and you know what? You're my co-host, and I value your opinion and your feelings sometimes. So
this is going to the abuse is about to come. Let you finish. Go ahead.
No, that was it. That's all I had. I was going to ask you to continue on your diatribe here about what I don't remember what at this point. PS5.
Yeah, PS5. Here's the thing, right? Just think about it for a second. If you're that poor SOB that had the perfect plan for refreshing your page, right? Like,
we'll get into it. Don't worry.
You're that guy. You're like, man, I got gig internet. I got, I'm using the Firefox tonight. I'm only going to have one browser open. I'm shutting everything else down that even thinks about using this network to find out.
I logged into the router and hit everybody else off that was on my network.
Just to find out that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And imagine if you're that guy who just said, hey, I'm just going to go check and see if it's available. And you actually get it, and they're going to honor it too.
Yeah.
Which is the crazy part, man. I mean, they have to.
Everyone's sold out at the moment. I don't know exactly how many pre-orders there were.
I heard 500.
Total?
Yeah.
There's no way. I saw way more people than that on Twitter that had them, so...
That had, like, confirmed or
that had, like, that shared their screenshot of their stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I saw way more than that. I bet you it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000. You know, they're gonna sell 10 million consoles the first year, right? Their pre-order is 100,000. Let's say it's 10,000, right? Their pre-order is 10,000. That's a little low, man. That's a little low. That's kind of fucking crazy.
This is exactly why I'm buying the digital, though, right? I didn't tell you about the Avengers pre-order debacle, and I'm not going to tell you about it because it wasn't anything I did wrong, but I'll never pre-order anything from the school or any other place.
Oh, you
ever.
pre-ordered the wrong version and didn't get the early access. I remember. I'm the one who told you that.
No, this was for Gavin. For me, it doesn't matter. Like I ordered, my stuff can get messed up all the time, but you mess up my kids' stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that. That's a whole nother like.
Okay.
And that's why I'm not going to do this. I really, really, really. There's one content creator who was begging his fans. He's like, listen, whoever you guys are, they got those early pre-orders with your bots.
Sell me one.
He's like, you send me a link, you give it to me at the same price, or don't contact me at all, man. And then one of our next segments, man, like it's gotten really bad to the point where some bigger content creators are talking about the scalpers because the markups that they're putting up on eBay, it's amazing
Hilarious.
to me that it's amazing. Like it is 100% a misdemeanor to scalp a Rangers ticket in front of Madison Square Garden.
It absolutely is.
It all falls on whether or not the cop, who's usually less than 15 feet away from these guys, is going to actually do anything about it.
You know, hold on a second. I'm sorry. You know where I've seen the most scalpers at though?
Where's that?
Was in Boston at PAX.
I'm sure, dude. If you haven't gone.
You walk back, 45 of those fucking guys are like, hey, you got tickets? I'm selling tickets. You need tickets? I'm selling tickets. I'm like, bro, I have my passes, dog.
Not one of them looks like they would be at that type of event.
No, they all look like they're baseball scalpers.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing. Boston, when you guys listen, we got any Beantown fans? You know exactly how those scalpers are outside of the Sox stadium, dude.
I've been to a Sox game, yeah.
It's pretty aggressive. It's like, don't even make eye contact with them, dude. You're gonna want to buy the ticket out of sheer fear.
I'd fuck those guys up.
Someone I should have saved a screenshot of it on eBay. Someone was actually starting the bid for their pre-order for their PlayStation, the PS5, at like around $800.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to the Nvidia stuff.
Oh.
Have you seen the Nvidia stuff? Or we're gonna move away from PS5 already. The PS5 debacle is fucked. It's fucked in so many different ways. But the Nvidia went on the same thing, man. It went on the absolute same thing where they, the rumor is that there was 2,000 cards total in the U.S. available for order day one.
That's outrageous.
Right?
That's outrageous.
I was up at midnight. And then I was up, it was like 12:05, it's still not available. And I'm like, okay. So I go and do a little bit of research. I didn't know it beforehand. It's like, oh, it's 6 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, pack it up, go to bed. Set my alarm for 8:45, right? Get up. I'm sitting here, I have a seltzer. I got my giant thing of water, I got my credit card out here, and I'm on 3 different websites. All got monitors, utilizing them. Hit refresh on Best Buy. At 9 o'clock, it went from coming soon to sold out. Hit refresh on Newegg crashed. I go over to Amazon, the listing is just off. And I'm like, dude, it was 30 seconds. Not even. 9 o'clock hit, I went F5. I have a very nice computer. It loaded in 0.1 seconds. Gone. And I'm like, bro, I didn't even get a chance to hit add to cart. Literally did not even get a chance to hit add to cart.
So explain to me how the bots work exactly and how quickly they work, because I want to call BS on something right now, but then I'm willing to have you course correct me.
So the way that the bot works essentially is that it's I don't know if it's loading a new browser to a specific site immediately, or if it's constantly refreshing at a faster rate than a standard computer could, but it's doing that and then has credit card information and login information to immediately buy it. And it can just do it faster than you can. It can do it faster than you, because it's like, it knows where it knows how long it's going to take to load. It knows exactly where the next field is going to be. And it basically just control V's and just goes, next, buy. Done, right? And it's done in seconds. That's essentially what the bot is.
All right. So hear me out on this. Are you ready for the conspiracy theory? Do you have aluminum foil somewhere in there? That can should protect you right in your hand right there. So there's some people who think that this was there were no 2,000 units, right? That can't be true.
Well, hold on. 2,000 is a very small amount, right? I'm getting this number to the fact that Micro Center has had 250 cards for their entire company, all of the Micro Centers had 250 cards. Apparently Best Buy's had one apiece. So there's 1,000 Best Buys, right? So there's about 2,000 cards. There is the thought, and I tweeted it immediately after this happened, that there were no cards available for pre-order, and it was set to immediately go to the next thing. I haven't seen anyone, and I actually believe this. I do fully believe this, because there is confirmation now that there's a 20 gig 3080 coming out either at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. There is already confirmation of that. And Nvidia's already come out and apologized for different things. And Newegg says that the stuff that was bought on our site was legitimate because we have ways of verifying that. And it's like, fuck you, Newegg. Although, please, I love you, Newegg. I really do. It's just, I totally believe that it's
a paper release. Some people believe that it was absolutely a paper release.
I could agree to that. Yeah, I could absolutely agree to that. Listen, I'm telling you, I don't get up at 8:45 in the morning anymore. I don't have to. But I was up. I was here. I was ready. I had the PC on. I had as much as I possibly could to do everything I could to buy one. And I'm telling you, 9 o'clock, I hit refresh, and it went from coming soon to sold out. It didn't even give me an option to add it to cart.
So let's get into it now. So let's get into what people are saying on or what you're seeing on eBay, man. And this stuff,
it doesn't. It's all fake.
If ever there was a time that threw the dude a split screen with the third, it's now, man, because it's amazing.
I've never even been on the site.
That's a scary place. $1,500.
Wait, I saw one for 40,000.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, I saw a screenshot of one for 40,000, 43,000 with 42 bids on it. Yep. I'm gonna leave that silence. I'm positive. I'm positive
that was genuine.
It's shopped. It's shopped. There's no reason for people to even be trying to resell. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want one.
On top of that, I'm sorry, bro. On top of that, worrying about this type of stuff, now we got to worry about the miners coming back as well. Have you been reading the articles about people who might get back to into data mining and Bitcoin mining and stuff like that, buying up all the cards as well? Like,
I mean, it doesn't.
I can't afford it. Obviously, I can't afford any of this stuff. My best hope was to get the 3070 at some point 2 years from now, or maybe I don't even know, but
yeah.
I feel as if though Nvidia should be, and I don't believe Newegg. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that release statement.
I'm not either.
Let's say for instance, like they were all verified. Okay, the Newegg's off the list. So you're telling me that everyone else doesn't have the ability to set it up and make sure that these are actual people buying the devices? Like you can't.
No one else issued a statement, right? Newegg said that they had received more traffic than they do on Black Friday for this launch. Do I they didn't say Cyber Monday. Newegg's an online retailer. It is what it is, man. Shit like this happens. If the 20 gig cards are coming out, that's the one I'm going to want anyway. For no reason. It's not going to be clocked any higher or whatever. And, really, do I want a Founders Edition? Probably not. I probably want an Asus Strix version, which is what I have a Strix 1080. It's done me really well. So, I would buy that or a WindForce Gigabyte WindForce. I had that in a 770.
I'm sorry, did you say 20 gigs? 20 gigs of VRAM?
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you use that for?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't. I barely use the 8 that I have now. I think I have 8 on mine. I don't use that. But what I want is because I have a 1080, right? And now I would be 2 generations behind. I'm fine with being a generation behind. But once we get to 2 generations, 4 or 5 years behind, then it's time to upgrade, right? Yeah, in my opinion, it's time to upgrade. But I'm a diehard PC guy. I would upgrade every year if I really thought it necessary.
Yeah, you just want to future-proof too, right? Not that anything's ever going to come out that's ever going to utilize all of that RAM in that device, but
who knows, right? Crysis,
maybe Crysis,
right? Crysis. They just remastered Crysis. Apparently, the current 3080 struggles to run it in 4K, which is incredible. But yeah, I don't know, man. The shit happens. It is what it is.
Well, while we're talking about it, before we segue into the next obvious statement, here's what's really, really interesting about it. Paper release.
Sure.
But the appetite is wet. You know, people are not going to give up on this, man.
No, people want it. People want it.
People, man, they're gonna keep going. Actually, it's amazing how many casuals came into the school asking about it. And then I would do, you know, the follow-up question. I'm like, hey, just, you know, out of curiosity, man, what are you playing that you're purchasing this? And you know, one guy, what is the game of Empire of Ages or so? What is
Age
that
of
the
Empires?
game?
There's a new one coming out. Apparently, it's supposed to be super heavy on the PC.
All right, so okay, and then you know you have the typical why play Fortnite and this type of stuff, and I'm just like, hey, can I give you a piece of advice that might help you? You're gonna probably see a markdown in some cards, maybe not a huge one according to people.
You will not.
None at all.
No, you absolutely will not. Nope, it's never happened. It has literally never happened. You might be able to buy the used one cheaper. Yeah, you buy the used market cheaper because people are gonna be selling their cards. They're gonna be available, right? But even then, you're still gonna get a 2080 for $500. You know, it's not going to be. The 2080s are nice, but there's not going to be a crazy markdown. It just doesn't happen in computer hardware because they become obsolete, right? You know, if it was. What happened? No, I'm saying if it was like something where it was like, you know, it's the 2017 model of a Honda, right? That's going to keep a value, right? But the 2019 version is probably not that much better, right? Yeah. But the 17 version is not obsolete. You know, like. You know, the 2080 becomes obsolete in some facet. So
this is what I really, really hate. And I don't use that word lightly. Like, I mean it exactly the way it's
a heavy word.
Hate bigger content creators. I hate their opinions, that they have opinions, but yet they got theirs. Like,
we'll be there one day, my friend.
They got their sample versions that they're gonna magically hold on to. There was actually one Bitwood video that always cracks me up. Someone sent him a computer and it was just supposed to be for a review. I think if I remember this correctly, it was like, hey, and they never sent me like a return label. And they've never asked for it back. And I'm like, man, that would be a new level of free for me, man. But at any rate,
like
man,
press cars, right? When you're big in the car market, right? When you're in like a road and track author or something, right? You get press cars. You know this? Are you familiar with what a press car is? That's
but it sounds amazing.
But so like when Honda's releasing a new Accord, right? They have what's called a press fleet. There's 15 cars in the US that they send to Road and Track and Car and Driver and like famous people that make videos on these cars. And they're like, "Hey, review the car." Right? So they send you the car for a week and you get to review it. That's what a press car is.
Yeah, but just imagine them not asking for that car back. By the way, that one auto show I went to, it wasn't really an auto show, but wherever it was in LA, you know, just as a parent, I got to see like the 2020 Subaru. That it was just a kind of you know what I'm saying, like a think piece type of car. And man, this was
concept.
Yeah, concept car. And man, I sat in it and I was like, man, this is luxury.
Subarus aren't even that nice.
No, here's the crazy thing, man. Like, I will never forget that rep. The way, like, it's almost like he came out of nowhere. He's like, hey, come over here. Come sit in this car and check it out. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Man.
Will there be chocolates and shrimp? Chocolates and prawns, please. Chocolates and prawns.
Shrimp and roofies.
Yes, my favorite. He's like, what? Get this guy out of here.
That is the only response you could give a person. Did you want to go into
the benchmarks? Let's do the benchmarks, man. So I'm looking at the benchmarks. They're pretty promising, right? Now Nvidia said that they're like, oh, it's 2 times more powerful. There's 2 times more. No, it's not lies, right? Because they do use the wording up to, right? Up to 2 times more powerful, and in most cases, it's still 40% more powerful, right?
Hold on, I want to say something. Your text response to the benchmarks I sent you, had already read my mind. 100%, these benchmarks represent you can upgrade comfortably. The only thing I saw in most of them was a CPU bind at 1080 for depending on which processor you were using. But
apparently,
I don't know how to.
Apparently, mine will throttle neck that graphics card.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm also playing at 240 hertz, which is probably going to be a little bit different. I might upgrade to 1440p in the next 5 years or something, but I'm not interested in it at the moment. If it throttle necks, it throttle necks, right? I mean, I'm still going to be getting more frames, and that's what's important. I have a 1080. You know, I have a 1080. I have a 4-year-old card. right? Like I'm not going to throttle neck to worse than what I have now. You know, if I had a 2080 Ti and I was upgrading to 3080 and I was getting 5 more frames per second, whatever. You know, like, you know, that's a big deal. But like, I'm going to be getting more frames per second and I won't even notice the throttle neck. You just get out of my face with that bullshit.
No, here's the crazy thing about it too. I keep forgetting you have a 1080, but here's the most. Wait real quick. You ever think about upgrading your processor? Is that another thing you're thinking about doing?
I have an 8700K.
Oh,
I have an i7 8700K. I don't need to. You know, they have their 11th gen CPUs are going to come out soon, and I haven't looked at it and care. Remember when I upgraded to my 8700K, I was coming from a 4th gen Intel. You know, I would upgrade 2 GPUs before I upgrade a CPU.
All right, it's nice to be you, man. Listen, I look at my Ryzen 5 every day, and I thank God that the computer that
Ryzen 5 is amazing.
I love it. But I think the benchmarks look good. There were some detractors for people who obviously could nitpick about a few things, and they were just like, you know, this wasn't what we were promised. We were, you know, this overarching. But I'm like, you're literally getting 10 to 15%, in some instances on some games, 20%.
Way more than that, dude. Way more than that. You're getting. I saw the base that I saw was 20% on most games, right? And these were like the super high end games, and a lot of the times the 1440p benchmark was the same frames on the 3080 as 1080 was on a 2080. Right, think about this for a second. If you're getting 100 frames per second on a 2080 on like Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, right, and you get 100 frames per second on the next resolution up, like you get the same frames but the next res up, that's an incredible accomplishment. You know, we're not comparing, and hold on a second, we're not even comparing apples to apples, right? Those benchmarks were all juxtaposed to the 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Let's think about this for a second.
We're not even talking about your card. Obviously,
not even my card. It's the 3080 is not replacing the 2080 Ti. It is not. The 3090 is replacing the 2080 Ti. The 3080 is replacing the 2080, right? Yeah. And the 2080 was so far down below it, right? I'm comparing, it's 20 or 25% better than the flagship card, right? The 3080 technically isn't even the flagship. No, I guess it maybe is, and the 3090 is the enthusiast or whatever, but like, it's not the best version of the card you could get, right? And we're comparing it to the best version of last generation's card. You know, that's not a fair comparison. I get it. It's better. And that's really, really cool for $800 less or whatever, $500 less or whatever it is. But compare it to the one that has the same price point. It's significantly better. And compare it to mine, which was the same price point of 2 generations ago. Really, the in my opinion, the comparison should be 3080, 2080, 1080, 980. Because you're going back 4 generations, right? Because most people still have 980s. There's a lot of people who still have the 980 card.
There are a lot of people who still have 1060s.
1060 came out after the 980.
Okay. Really?
Holy
There's someone who,
Steve.
No,
hold on, Steve.
Hold on for a second.
9th gen versus 10th gen.
Hold on for a second. There's someone I know that did a benchmark in their car and they have the 980 and it beat my card in benchmarks.
Correct. Because you're looking at the top of the line 9th gen versus the bottom of the line 10th gen.
Margaret Thatcher.
You're looking at a $700 card versus a $400 card. Right? Well, actually, how much is a 1060? It might even be less than that. Whatever. Let's just say it's in the $400 range, right? Because it's definitely not 500 because that's a 1070, right? Yeah. So let's say 350. That's not a fair comparison. It should be better. Just like the 2080 Ti should be better than the 3060. You know, like that's the way that it should be, right? But you should be going back 4 gens, direct comparison, and because I want to know what the upgrade path is, right? I want to know what my 1080 is compared to the 3080, and no one has done that yet, right? Jay might have put on a 1070, which I didn't think was fair. Give me the 3080, the 2080, the 1080, and the 980, because that's where that's the range that most people are in, right? Mm-hmm. There are people who are in the 770 range, and there are people who are in the 2080 Ti range, but give me the fair comparison of the direct generational comparisons of the cards. Give me that, and let's go forward. Don't compare it to the 2080 Ti, the $1,300 last gen card for the $700 this gen card.
You know what's crazy is the sound off the card with the fans is almost non-noticeable.
And
Like everyone's
apparently it's really good cooling too. Apparently the Founders Edition cards are sitting at like under load 72C. I bet you mine right now is not under load, and I bet you it's at 60 something.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, mine's hot. Mine runs really, really hot. I should take it apart and rethermal paste it on the dies. I don't think I'm gonna do that. You know, the card runs. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's fine. It just runs really fucking hot. My left leg is very hot most of the time. It's very, very warm.
That's got nothing to do with the computer.
That's a good point.
Spending in the background. You know what? It does make sense for someone, say for instance, that has my card or your card to make this upgrade, because you will, for your price point, see the better jump in it.
Sure.
The thing that worries me about it is, man, I just want to stop a lot of casual people. If you're building your first PC, just hold off for a second. Just hold off for a second and let me get your card, because you don't need it. It's your first PC. You don't deserve it. You should take my 1060. Let me get.
No. That's not fair. For the price that it is, it's a very good, very, very good graphics card. It's the best we've ever seen at that price point. If you have the $700 to buy it. But if you're upgrading off of a 2080 Ti to go to the mid level of the next generation, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just don't do that. You know, if you're coming off a 1080 Ti, like something like that, then yeah, that's a good purchase. But
yeah, I'm square aiming at the 1070. I'm that guy. You've known me long enough. 3070. I'm sorry, 3070. I'm that guy.
It's going to be the best price to performance GPU that anyone's ever seen. And you know what? There. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, well, AMD's going to come out with a card that's going to be 10% less for $300 less. I'm like, dude, we've been hearing that from AMD. But we've been hearing that from AMD for the last 3 generations of NVIDIA cards. Yeah, just wait. It's coming out. It's going to be 10% less for $400. No. Go ahead.
To be fair, the same thing was kind of going on. Notice I used the word kind of. I'm not saying direct comparison. Kind of going on with the CPUs for a while. And then we finally stepped into the Ryzen era. And then Ryzen finally caught up to a point where it's not caught up fully. Let me reframe what I'm about to say. But
depends on what your benchmarks
you're using it for.
Yeah.
But
there
maybe
are use cases for sure.
I don't think AMD will ever dethrone Nvidia, because Nvidia has one thing to focus on. AMD has too many different markets. Well, not too many. It has 2 markets to focus on.
So Nvidia does a lot of graphics cards. They do the exclusive workstation graphics cards, right? So that's slightly different. They do a lot of AI stuff. I don't know if you know this or not. Really? They actually just bought a new AI company for X amount of billions of dollars.
They bought ARM too, didn't they?
ARM. That's the company I was thinking of. They just bought ARM.
Yeah.
They also do all of the mapping and the driverless driving for Tesla. It's all run by NVIDIA stuff. So yeah, NVIDIA does more, but it's all within the same realm, right? They're not making CPUs, right?
And they're doing software stuff too. Now they have the NVIDIA.
The audio software is incredible, dude. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Not compatible with my card, by the way.
I don't know if it is with mine either, honestly. It might be. At some point, I could have gotten ray tracing in my card, but I feel like if I tried that, my card would explode.
It just climbs off the computer and leaves.
I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit! Like punches my leg went from
warm to not there, and
it's like, holy shit!
Bleeding.
Oh, the monitors are still working though. How is this? Whatever.
Hold on, but we can agree on one thing. It's bad to be Intel at this time. Like, when is there? I'm still confused.
What do you mean? It's not.
Is their card even out? Are they making the card? Yeah. No, it's never.
No, it's not a bad time to be Intel. Intel owns all of the USB patents. They own like 80% of the market share with CPUs. Actually, it might be less than that now. It might be 75%. They own the majority of server grade hardware. We're back after another small technical difficulty there. I still don't know what we were talking about.
You of course corrected me on the Intel thing. It's so good to be Intel. I was talking about more in that narrowing of the scope, like their card, because there was so much hype. Not even hype. I think anticipation behind their card.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah, there was so much anticipation, especially if you're an Intel loyalist, and there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in brand loyalty. If you have a good experience with one part of their market, stick with it. Maybe they want to retain customers. That's all the part of retail and sales. But it sucks because There's nothing. They're not like their card is not even on the radar right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? That it sucks in that regard.
It doesn't exist, right? It
That's what I'm
doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. Like Intel doesn't care about the graphics processing unit market.
Hold on for a second. They do care because they keep saying it exists. They're not. I can see.
Hold
I can
on.
see if you were.
Hold on.
I can see
Intel has never made an official statement on a graphics card in years. That was all a big rumor. It was all rumored. Intel never made an official statement on that. As far as I know, Intel never made an official statement on that. The image was leaked. It was never confirmed from the horse's mouth that card was ever a thing.
I'm going to have to go back and dig because Nexus and Jay, I would never sit through hour-and-a-half videos, especially Nexus, who I enjoy. I think he's a great guy to go get hot wings with. Probably knows a lot about a lot of things.
Hot wings. But I've never thought about like, man, I want to go get hot wings with you. I'm like, Dad, I could go like, get a beer with you. Or come maybe a cup of coffee, maybe hoagies and some whiskey.
You tell me the guy from Nexus doesn't look like he couldn't take. I don't know
who that is.
Yeah, you do. He's a Nexus gamer. He's got the long hair, man. Very kind of dry.
Oh, Gaming Jesus. yeah, that guy. Yeah.
At any rate,
I only know what he looks like because he was in a Linus video. I've never watched his content.
Oh, I absolutely love his content because at the end of the day, it's like him and Jay. Well, you want to get down to the just the nitty gritty and down to the numbers.
Jay is where I go for that. Paul's Hardware is very good too.
Oh, yeah,
Fun fact about Paul's Hardware is the guy that you know how in Newegg, when you go on Newegg, they always have like, they're not stock photos for like their stuff. Paul's Hardware is the guy, if I remember correctly, who started that. What they would do is they get a new product in, they hand it through a window, they sit it on a fucking white tablecloth, take pictures of it, and hand it back. Paul's Hardware is the guy who started that for Newegg. He used to work for Newegg. He did all of Newegg's videos too.
You got to watch his live stream with Bitwit when one of them inevitably has one more drink than maybe they should while they're on live. Always amazing because that's when the fun really starts. But anyway, about the Intel thing, you could 100% be right. You could 100% be right. Maybe they never confirmed it. I'm almost 100% sure that they did, or there was some statement on why it was being delayed.
But even if they did, dude, they've been talking about making their own graphics card for probably a decade. Right. Yeah. And they did never just actually commit to doing it. And I don't care, man. I'm going to be pretty heavy an Nvidia loyalist until something else comes out that's better for the same price.
What do you think about? What do you think? I was going to put Big Navi onto the comments here.
Here's an issue. We've been hearing about this magical AMD graphics card that's going to compete with the fucking Nvidia stuff for 5 years. And no one has actually ever got their hands on one. Again, when I see it, I'll believe it. I've heard about the architecture. I know what the architecture is, and I know what it can do, but not for the price. You know, they keep saying that this 30 gig graphics card, I've heard that like multiple times, 30 gig graphics card with this much processing power is going to be the first one to be 2 gigahertz out of the box. It's going to be this, it's going to be that for $400. And I'm like, you're a fucking liar. That's $1,000. That's a $1,500 graphics card. Like, and it's, you know... And then they do this thing where they come out. Do you remember that other Navi card they came out with? And it was like $2,000. And they're like, and everyone's like, no.
I just had this image of you at the presser, like that meme from the guy from Mean Girls. It's like, he doesn't even go to the school. Like,
she doesn't even go here.
So, here's a crazy thing. I've watched so much stuff in anticipation to Big Navi that at one point I had to remind myself that I don't know if any of this stuff is verified yet.
It doesn't exist.
The crazy thing about it is it's supposed to be the same architecture as the stuff that we're getting in the Xbox and the PlayStation 5.
Right.
That's not a great, it's not a great selling point. In my opinion, I want to hear something that's going to blow my socks off. Not something.
Give me the ray tracing was right when the first time you saw ray tracing, I was like, "Holy shit, that looks sick!" Right? Yeah. But I'm like, I don't care for it. Like, I'm not gonna need it. But that looks pretty fire, dude. Like,
it's rich people. It's like you can get the economy class version of a Tesla, and that thing still accelerates pretty well. But I always know when someone with
ludicrous mode.
Yeah, when that thing
literally what it's called, by the way. It's called ludicrous mode. Because the only movie that Elon Musk has seen is Spaceballs.
Man, he is a terrifying, dangerous human being, and hilarious. I would love to have him on the show one day.
Absolutely, I'd have him on. I think Elon Musk is
we're about to
visionary. He's a He's a lot of things.
Cybertruck driver. He pulls up to pick you up in the Cybertruck.
That Cybertruck, the way that they showed it on that presser will never exist, because U.S. pedestrian safety laws exist, and you couldn't have a nose the way, not even the nose the way that it looks like that. You literally can't have that. Why doesn't the Corvette nose look that way, right? Like if it's better, right, why doesn't it look that way? Because it has to be bubbled out in the front, and it has to be a certain height, so if it hits you in a certain place. Like it won't exist because of U.S. pedestrian laws.
We're about to go down a bit of a rabbit hole here, but it'll be a quick one. You have watched Joe Rogan for some time, and he's never ever not brought someone back on the show before. Like he's pretty forthcoming when he's like, they're just not allowed back on here. But I think he might have just banned his first person and actually addressed it live in an indirect. This dude, Dave Rubin from the Rubin Report. Okay. Don't look him up, right? Don't look him up right now. It infuriates you. But Joe actually might not be having him back on because he feels like he's a grifter. I guess the thing is, Joe will have you on if your original thought leads you to a life of conservatism, and he's like, yeah, I can respect that. We can debate the point.
He has conservatives on, all the time, right? He's Ben Shapiro on multiple times. Alex Jones has been on the fucking show. He's the ultimate conservative.
No, he's a psychopath. Jordan Peterson, but
there you go, Jordan Peterson.
Joe Rogan does not, and I respect this. Does not respect a grifter. I'm not saying that this is what that person is.
Doesn't
but this
have
is
to.
Exactly.
And you're $100 million man. Fuck out of my face. Did you hear about his plan? I don't give a fuck about this conversation anymore. I'm sorry. Did you hear about his plans in Austin of what he's gonna do? He moved to Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, everyone knows
this. He moved to Austin, Texas. He's gonna start a comedy club there. His goal with that Spotify money is to start a comedy club there to compete with.
I finally remembered what it was from the last episode, because I could not remember. I didn't want to argue with my wife, and when she brought up that she agreed with you, I was like, all it was I simply did not agree that Joe Rogan was that funny. To me, I said that,
no.
and then I left it alone.
No, what I wanted you to, it was what you said. We said that his career was mediocre, and that is just false.
If I said his career is mediocre, that's not the intent. I'm going to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, we'll do that after this, because actually I was fairly offended. Listen, you don't have to like his comedy, right? Because comedy is objective or subjective, right? But the guy has had a very successful comedic career, and we were talking about the fact.
I would like to insert into there that I'm almost positive I said he's not that funny to me. That's not.
You probably did, right? Yeah, but I said on multiple occasions that if he even lost the Spotify contract and could never podcast again, it doesn't matter, because he's had a very successful comedy career, and you said he's had a mediocre career. You said mediocre career multiple times.
I think his comedy is mediocre.
No. You said a mediocre career. I promise. We'll listen to it after this. It doesn't matter, right? But because even if you had said that, it's just false. The guy sells out arenas, right? I don't care.
No. It's subjective to me, though.
Hold on. His overall career is not objective to anybody. If he can go and sell out Madison Square Garden, he's had a very successful career.
You are
that is purely what I'm talking about.
You are 100% correct about that. I'm not debating that.
Yes, you are, but that's what I've said.
I'm debating the fact that I don't think he's funny. That's what I'm saying.
But that's not what I'm talking about. You do this thing where you have your own debate juxtaposed to what I'm saying, right?
No.
And that's the issue, because you're not fully listening to what I'm saying.
No, I'm listening. I'm clarifying the point. I agree with you. His career cannot be judged in a way that is less than positive. I will say this one thing about the stadium thing, though.
He sells stadiums. He sells.
I know he's done it in LA a couple of times. His career is second to none. His Netflix special didn't do as well as they thought it would do, like analytically, but that wasn't his fault. It was a weird release date. I'm not talking about this one that just came out recently. There was another one. The one before that.
I saw that one live. I saw that one live before he recorded.
The marketing was poor behind it. Very poor.
Sure.
They're very poor.
Let me bring you back to the conversation we were having. You said you didn't think it was that funny. And I said, that's fine. Right? I might have not said that verbatim, but I'm like, but you can't say that he hasn't had a successful comedy career. And you disagreed with me on that statement. Is where I had an issue with that.
No. What I was doing was trying not to get into a debate, and I was just like,
But I wasn't. The conversation was, if he lost the Spotify money, it wouldn't matter because he has a successful comedy career to back up on. And you said I thought it was mediocre at best. And I'm like,
if I said mediocre at best, I'm clarifying right now that I think his comedy is mediocre, but I think he's funnier on the actual podcast.
Sure.
He makes me laugh so much when it's not a delivered shtick.
Sure.
Like his actual stand up, like it's not that I don't. It's the delivery, but when he's actually on the show and it's just like he's relaxed,
Yeah.
and like
I get
he's
that.
just talking.
I totally
He's
get
in
that.
the
His old stand up was bad. His old stand up was legitimately bad because it was preachy. He was always preaching at you, I felt like. And I'm like, this is not how I want to enjoy my entertainment. His new stuff is way better than his old stuff.
I'll tell you this much, man. I'll say this. The show that got marketed poorly, the people he takes shots at in that show subliminally
it's
like that.
Yeah.
That he does extremely well.
It's fun.
But I would never disparage his career. Actually, here's something I think that he should go down in history for. Comedy aside, right? Because as a local comedian, someone that supported the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, those type of places, he actually shows up, does skits.
The improv all the time.
Improv. He takes care of those guys. A lot of stuff that he won't even say on air, but I know people in that circle, and I know how nice he's been to them and given them opportunities. I think he should go down in history. If they don't induct him in the UFC Hall of Fame,
they will. There's no way they couldn't, man. He's probably worked the most shows. Well, let me take that back. Probably not anymore. John Anik is probably way past him because he only does 10 a year or whatever.
You think? Yeah, probably.
He only does 10 a year now, right? His contract is he only does 10 a year, right?
But we're talking about more like the late 90s to now.
But he did a bunch of them. But John Anik does every single show now, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time John Anik wasn't on a show?
The only thing he's not on is the Contender Series, your new favorite show.
There you go. I've watched most of it now, or this season at least. It's pretty funny. It's better when I could skip through it and just watch the fights and then watch the shit talking at the end. Is very good. But yeah, man, you know, whatever. I don't care. But if we disagreed with that, or it wasn't even a disagreement. Apparently, you were arguing something that I wasn't arguing.
You know, here's the thing, man. This is what the therapist was working with us on, man. When we went there last week. I'm just from now on, when I don't want to argue, I want to make sure I'm being clear. This is for all my friends who accuse me of debating with them. From now on, what I'll be doing is I would just go, yes, and I will nod my head. And I will guarantee that that's not going to be satisfactory to Zach for sure. Because as soon as I do that, you're going to say one of two things: don't patronize me, and no, Steve, tell me what you're really thinking. I'm just going to keep going. Yes.
Yeah, I would blow up and end the show. That would be annoying. Is that it for the evening? Is that it?
No. That's not it. Don't you dare try to.
No, I'm sorry. This show's going 4 hours now, but okay.
Don't you dare try to disrespect this man, because there's one thing that's about to happen that we have to absolutely talk about, because it's a bit of MMA controversy and history all at the same time. Michael Chandler was not officially, so right, you can't say that officially, the last guy that had not fought in the UFC. There are people that we would still like to see come into the UFC to answer some age-old questions.
Michael Venom Page.
Nobody wants that.
He's exciting. Come on, he's exciting.
No, nobody. You don't even want that. But Michael Chandler, we're talking about. Just think about poor Michael Venom Page coming into the middleweight division. I just want you to think about that.
Be pretty, dude. His striking is incredible, but man, does he get fucking hit?
Oh, he knocks poor Chris Weidman out for sure.
Oh, I mean, but like, sure, okay, I give you that. I don't have anything. I don't have a rebuttal. It's just
you're a horrible human being. We're gonna talk about this Michael Chandler thing, because I want to build it up for a second. So Eddie Alvarez, you know why Dana White pursued him after his contract was up? For obvious reasons, right? Eddie had been a champion in every organization that he was a part of. Yeah. He was well known
still to this day.
Yeah, well known in the local scene. Like, the guy's known as a company guy. He's an amazing fighter. He's had some bad days. Who hasn't? But his talent level, I keep telling you, you never have bad days, man. I was with you the other day, and it was just an aura coming off of you. And then that woman
I did see you the other day. It was nice.
I mean, you saw me when I was outside looking at your nice computer, your 4 monitor setup. But I'm happy for you, man. I want you to have all the best things in life. But Eddie Alvarez came in. He actually became a champion. A lot of people look at his career in the UFC and they disparage it. But let's look at it for real. First fight was against Cowboy Cerrone. Great fight.
Not an easy fight for anyone.
Not an easy out, especially that. Yeah, exactly. I got nothing for. I feel bad for Donald, because if they make a movie about if they make a movie about Connor's life, you know that's the last scene in the movie, right?
Well, I mean, that's the scene before he goes to actual prison.
Apparently, I there's some speculation that these charges are like drummed up and they get thrown out. But at any rate, he loses. Eddie loses to Cowboy, does eventually become the champion of the 155 division.
Sure.
Eddie was a part of a great trilogy, or two. I think it's a trilogy with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, to me, represents the type of fighter that we need to see come in the UFC, because he is one of the big what ifs that you can get as mad at me as you want to. No one wants another Fedor situation on him. I don't want to talk about this type of stuff anymore. I need to see how he stacks up. Now, this is what's crazy. Dustin Poirier was supposed to be fighting Tony Ferguson, and then Dustin in the UFC couldn't come to terms over this. Dude. Dana White does his usual thing, which I think was kind of disrespectful.
Dustin doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, Dustin is a company man, and I can't think of a time where he has not shown up for the company. He's fought
everybody. Everyone.
145, 155. The man has never backed down for a fight. But cool, Dana's gonna Dana. He's gonna do what he's gonna do, whatever. And we don't have to believe it. So they bring Michael Chandler, and now there's speculation that he might fight Tony, right? And then Cash comes up to me and he's like, "No, it just broke. He's gonna be the alternate for
Khabib and Gaethje." I heard that.
Dude, there's not even a warm-up reach around for the type of thing that's going to happen.
I feel bad for that man if he has to fight Khabib. I feel bad for that man if he has to fight Gaethje. Gaethje's a scary man right now too.
Yeah, just imagine Gaethje and freaking Kobe and what's this dude's name, Henry Cejudo, all at the Trump rally together. I can't stop thinking about what that car ride was over. But I actually think Chandler.
You know what? I don't want to get a fight in that car ride. With that car ride.
Do you just agree with everything they say in the car?
Yes, sir.
Build the wall. Yep, I'm right there.
Who's the child in the back? Oh, he's the most decorated of you all. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
But here's the thing. Child? I think Chandler matches up against Khabib a lot better than Gaethje does.
Sure.
But this is happening. This is the thing, man. We're going to see Michael Chandler in there. I don't know when it's going to be, but if one of those guys pulls out, and I'm almost speculating that it's going to be against either Dustin Poirier or Ferguson. They're not going to slow crawl this guy. They're going to throw him right to the wolves.
As you should. He's a champion from another organization. Or was he a champion in Bellator? Had to have been, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's been champion twice.
Sure.
Twice.
You know, a champion in another division. You don't get Bellator is the B to the, or even the the A2 to UFC, right? At this point, their competition is very good. They have no names, whatever. Their competition is fine, right? In Bellator, I feel like if you were a Bellator fan, I don't think you're an idiot anymore.
No. You're a real MMA fan.
Michael Chandler coming in, he's already at the top of what it is, so he should be fighting within the top 5 or top 3. In my opinion, right? And if he loses, then we go to top 10. And if he loses again, then we kick him out of the UFC and send him to 1.
Yeah.
Get DJ back.
They need to bring DJ back. They did that man wrong. They did him absolutely wrong. And
not if one championship pays him.
Yeah. No, they traded him for Ben Askren, man. That's like
Ben Askren was a big what if though too.
He was a big what if, man.
He's a very good wrestler.
I think Ben Askren has a future at the desk at the UFC.
I do too.
Just bring him in. Man.
Many things. He'd be a very good wrestling coach in someone's camp. You know,
he would be a great analyst, man. He would be a great.
I think so too. He's very smart. Yeah.
The afro would be a little hard to look at every fight,
though. And he's walking around in a suit and flip flops. That's some shit that I would do.
Oh man, I had a lot of fun tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Stevie. Me too. I did too.
The therapy's working. See, we do our breathing exercises.
I've never been to therapy. I probably should go to therapy. Let's be fair, but never to this day have I had to show up to a therapist yet.
Oh man, I would like for you to go to therapy one day and just have me sit in a chair.
Dude, I'd be so mad.
You worked up all the courage to finally just unburden yourself, work through your issues, and I turn around. I'm like, "Hello, Zachary. Have a seat." Bang! What do we? Any announcements coming up here? Anything big going on in our lives, man? Anything going on with the stream you want to talk about or promote?
No, nothing crazy going on. We're gonna be doing these shows live, I think, starting next week. I'll do a private test show to make sure I can do the recording and the live streaming at the same time. It shouldn't be that much of an issue. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Go check out all of our stuff. Talking with a Dad, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever, favorite podcasting app, Talking with a Dad, all one word, website, talkingwiththedad.com. What is there else? Join the Discord. Join the Discord. You get unlimited access to us.
Yes,
you get unlimited access to us. There's a section if you want us to talk about something that's near and dear to you that we're not already going to talk about. Throw it in the topics thing. I mean, we have the right to refuse any and all topics. We're going to put that in there as a small disclaimer. But just join it. It's a great way to be part of the community and just be a part of us. Shout out the audio listeners. We love you guys. We're doing really well over on Anchor. It was a good move. Good job, Steve, on suggesting that move. This will be the first episode with chapter tags is what they are. Chapter tags, timestamps, whatever it is. So let's hope that does well. If you guys want to skip around the topics, you have a priority in which you want to watch the topics, go ahead. You want to listen to my opinion about Call of Duty again for the 55th time? More power to you.
Do it.
Do your thing. You're an absolute psycho. But
go to Zach in Plays, people. He never does this. I let you drone on for hours. I asked you a specific question. I asked you, do we have anything to announce? And do you have anything to announce on the show? And you never ever plug the Hawaiian shirts. Please, we're gonna try this one more time. You got 10 seconds. Plug your Twitch channel.
TalkingWithTheDad.com on Instagram, Facebook. All of the above. Thank you for listening. This is a long episode. Thank you for listening.
Another mega edition.
Another mega edition. Have a good night.